And we are alive. Hello, everybody out there in the listening audience. How are you today?
Hello, everyone.
Howdy,
Well,
howdy.
well, look at that.
We have a
It's
special thing that I guess it's kind of a special day, right? It's Victoria Day.
it is a very, very special day.
Happy Victoria Day to everybody out there,
Yep.
and all those beautiful Canadians. As we have a new viewer in a disguise. Tis beautiful. I agree. Tis beautiful.
Yes, it is. It is. And what is Victoria Day for all of our friends south of the Canadian parallel border?
Well, it's kind of like, isn't it kind of like Memorial Day almost? Like, I mean, they
Kind of.
have theirs in like a week or so.
Is this a day that we
So.
celebrate the wonderfulness, which is the monarchy of the queen? I keep getting confused in my older ages. Sometimes I make stuff up and I believe it because it's just more fun to believe in. But other
Well,
times I kind of forget the actual real aspects behind things. So,
well, it's supposed to commemorate Queen Victoria's birthday, but
ha!
I like to say that it's Beaver Queen Day.
Beaver Queen Day.
Yes, this is the annual day that we crown the next Beaver Queen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Could you give us some more background on whom the Beaver Queen may be so we're all on the same page, kind of, sort of, maybe?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a beaver, so
Well,
yeah.
sometimes we are busy like beavers, busy beavers, if you will. So,
Yeah.
hey.
So
Yeah.
I did want to say it's a little bit special today because we of course it's Victoria Day. It's the May 2-4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a disguise says it's they get theirs next week, so they get their Beaver Queen Day next week.
All right.
But yeah, it's May 2-4 weekend. It's a Canadian drinking holiday, basically.
Yeah, this is
It's an
true.
excuse to drink, and so we're celebrating a little bit. We have, as you can see, to the right here, you can see the Canuckleheads official merchandise has hit our Teespring.
That's amazing. I didn't realize we had merchandise until just a little while ago.
Amanda T's dropping in to say hi. Hello, Amanda T.
Amanda T. Hello, hello, and hello.
And in a disguise, it says it was Queen Victoria's birthday so long after. Oh, never give up. Your May 2-4, exactly. Yeah, it's basically the third Monday of May. They always celebrate Queen Victoria's birthday, and by they I mean the Commonwealth colonies, because apparently in the UK they don't actually. I guess they celebrate by drinking all the time.
I
But
guess you kind of have to, don't they?
yeah, but we have getting back to this. We have the
Yeah.
Teespring that we just launched here. Let me just pull up a couple of things. So we have the T-shirt, as
Mhm.
you can see here, the wonderful design. I designed these myself, by the way.
Look at
I
that.
designed these myself. We have the really nice throw. It's kind of like a fleece blanket. It's got the Canuckleheads
That looks very comfy.
logo on the bottom corner there. We got stickers.
Stickers.
So if you want if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. Check that out after the show. Also, a link to our Patreon is there as well. So wonderful stuff. Leave
You
that
know
up
what?
there for another minute.
Maybe we should make the stickers collectibles. You know, only have them online like for a week or something like that, and take them and put a new one on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like that type of thing.
We'll see.
Cool.
And we're also doing a little bit of something else as well. I'm just gonna
What else are we doing?
pull this up here. I'm gonna get rid of that.
Oh,
Get that crap out of here.
Look at the size of my head. It's
It's
huge.
a great excuse to get drunk. I agree. Amanda T says my week sucked. I'm sorry.
Oh, Amanda, no.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you can have a bit of a drink with us.
Yeah.
I'm doing a whiskey review. I am reviewing this wonderful little gem.
What is
I've
this elixir?
never had it before. It is Suntory whiskey Toki. Toki from the House of Suntory Whiskey, established in 1923. So I'm going to be jumping into that here in just a couple minutes. But before I do that, the last very special thing that we're doing today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm going to do a review on whiskey as well.
Oh, really?
Can I present this to our viewing audience if that's okay with you, Crumb?
Do it up.
Awesome. Cool. Well, basically, I got this little gem back a while ago. So I thought I might give this a quick shot as well. It's still sealed, so I was waiting for a special occasion such as this.
Oh. Well, I think that we have a special occasion to drink too.
All right, what do you got?
Amanda T says her grandmother on her dad's side died. She's going through the paperwork. So, Amanda,
kid. I'm sorry, man.
The first sip of this is going to be to you and your grandmother and your family.
Yeah, yeah. Our most sincere condolences on the
So
passing.
we'll put F's into chat for that as well. But the last thing that I wanted to do here,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to drop an invite into
Mm-hmm.
this very studio.
Mm-hmm.
Dun 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 into the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. So if you want to come on and drink with us and have a good time with us and hang out with us, you can just follow that. If you have a microphone, you don't need a camera.
Yeah.
If you have a camera, that's amazing. But if you don't, that's fine. You can come
Yeah.
join us. You can come drink with us. You can come chat with us. Oh,
That'd
this
be
smells
great.
delicious.
Ah.
Oh, this smells really good. So the first thing is the sniff test.
And how's it smell? Tell us the aroma, Crumb. Tell us.
So I mean, if people out there are whiskey drinkers, so like this, it smells like it's very aromatic, very aromatic. It smells really, it kind of sweet, a little bit of hint of spice to it.
Mm-hmm.
My mouth's watering right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pours really nice. Can't really tell the peatiness in the smell. I know it's a blended whiskey, so it's not very dark. So I don't think it's aged that much, but it smells really, really good. Why don't you give yours a pour and let me know?
All right, I'll do that. I wasn't quite prepared to do this right now, but hey, no time like the present, right? Let me just.
Yeah, no problem. Blaze Firestorm. You might have to
Hey,
eat the
Blaze, how you doing?
Our good buddy.
Welcome
Art
to the
OG.
show, huh? I'm a little bit excited than usual today, there, Crumb. I apologize for my hyperactivity already.
Oh, it's been kind of an interesting week, hasn't it?
It has been. It honestly has been. We did that wonderful show.
Sounds good, Amanda.
Just a little while ago. So
yeah, it was Saturday, right? We had the
yeah
very interesting interview with a very interesting individual.
Look at this. This is all coming down next year.
Very, very
nice. Twist off. It's not a cork. Oh well, that's fine. All right. Well, I got my sophisticated little mason jar glass here. I'm gonna put one little ice cube in there. Being as I usually like my drinks cold. So, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll just bypass the ice cube.
So you have to have the first sip without any taint in it. So
that's exactly why I threw the ice cube back, Crumb. But however, with a large jar, which I do like, is it gives a fairly large mouth for the alcohol to breathe. If you know what I mean.
This smells like it's gonna burn. This smells like it's gonna burn.
It's gonna burn.
All right. So first is cheers. Cheers to Amanda T. Here's to your family.
Yep.
You know, blessings to your grandmother.
Cheers, everyone else. Ching. There we go. Whoa. Well, it's got that bit of a Metallica kick to it. Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, so so for this one,
it's been around for like 2,000 years. I'm totally kidding, by the way.
So for Toki, it's like I was expecting it to burn on the way in. Like I was expecting it to be like really, really harsh, just because it has that really aromatic smell to it. Yep. Not very peaty. This doesn't have very much smoke to it. It is a very nice. It's a very nice mixture of flavors. It's super duper light on the tongue. It sits in the back of the tongue afterwards, a little bit of a burn, but like nothing too bad, right? It has a little bit of a sweetness to it. And it definitely has the spice near the end, a spicy kick. This is a really, really nice, like sipping whiskey.
Awesome. Well, basically, the Canadian club I have here has been distilled for the last 12 years. This is your Canadian Club Classic. So if anyone has had this before, it's pretty much the exact same thing. It's got that little tingle to it when you start drinking it. It's got that really nice oak taste to it, if you know what I mean. Not too bitter, not too sweet. You could probably have this for both occasional Drinking, probably mix it with bath water. Still be absolutely fantastic. And overall, it's not too bad. So pretty good stuff. There we go. Face to face. Cheers, Chris.
Cheers. No, honestly, like I this is dangerous because I could drink a lot of this.
Well, how about
I could drink a lot of this.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, again, this stuff.
Like I can taste the cask a little bit.
Oh really? That's cool.
And the aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
But it's perfectly good. It's very mellow, and it hangs around a little bit. Like it feels like you're drinking whiskey. So if you're a whiskey fan, I would say, like, so far, first sip, very good.
Yeah,
We've
known each other for a few years now. I think it's the very first time I've seen you with that particular brand. So is this something that's fairly new that's popped up, or it's been around for a while, or what do you think?
This particular brand, I've never seen it. I mean,
okay.
This is the first time I've really. This is the first time I've dabbled into international.
Yeah,
like I've had Scottish whiskeys, I've had Irish whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had Japanese whiskeys. Like I have sake. Mm-hmm. I do all that stuff. Like that's really good. But yeah, Blaze Fire Storm says, "Oh, Crest going to the black, going to go black. Put drunk in the stream. Oh dear.
Oh, awesome.
Making me sound drunk already."
And also on top of that,
we have Ace Latrap. Welcome to the stream. Damn, I'm out of alcohol at the moment. Well, you can always cheers juice or water. Is always acceptable as well.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Just pick up whatever beverage you would like. Plus, on top of that, just to chase down the Canadian whiskey, I picked up this grapefruit rattler from the people over at
Waterloo Brewing.
Waterloo Brewery, one of the sponsors of Kitchener Comic Con. Not an endorsement here. But this is one of the few beers I really, really enjoyed. So we got that. And
full disclosure, everybody. We don't have any sponsorships.
Yeah, no sponsors.
We'd love to be sponsored, but we don't have any sponsorships.
And also, if I manage to pile that back, I have the raspberry rattler as well sitting on.
Oh, that's very good.
So, yeah, I sort of came a little bit loaded today.
Loaded.
You got it. Perfect. For today's wonderful and fantastic extra special broadcast. So everyone's probably why we assembled everyone here today, and so let's get the chat.
Yeah, I guess we're just kind of shooting the shit and talking a little bit and whatever else. We're not really having a topic today. We're just kind of doing whatever. If people want to come on and chat and say hi and whatever else, that's awesome. Yeah, we're kind of going until we either run out of steam or run out of booze. One of the two happens.
Oh goodness gracious! Between the two of us, I think that our kidneys will hate us for at least a year or so. Is dialysis portable? I hope so, because we're just such busy people. So
sponsored by Nick Rekieta, says Blaze Firestorm. The spirit of Nick Rekieta. The spirit of Nick Rekieta, that's for sure.
For sure. So, you know what? Let's hop into a little bit of the past here. Let's talk about our most previous broadcast.
Oh, you want to go in there?
Yeah, for sure. Because basically, you know, it looks like it's one of our better broadcasts so far. I wouldn't say better, more popular, more viewed, perhaps. What's the missing word I'm looking for here, Crumb? More.
I guess like. More viewed or most attention, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same here. I'm sort of a little bit tongue-tied. There's a word for you. I gotta copyright that and get a nickel for it every time someone says it. But anyways, a little tongue-tied. What to call it? Because all of our broadcasts, in my most humble, honest, professional opinion, have always been fantastic and wonderful, all to themselves. So, hey.
So okay. So there's been a lot, and I'm gonna probably be hanging out on another person's stream. I'm just waiting on confirmation from it, but was possibly being on a live stream tomorrow to kind of go over everything. But there's cool. There's a lot of questions that were going around, I guess.
Oh, really?
Initially, some people were really, really upset with the fact that we had a certain individual on stream on Saturday.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Should we say person or individual?
Individual. I mean, that's debatable considering possibly more than one personality, but that's not a professional opinion or anything like that.
We're not Dodgers when you stretch the imagination.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Working on it for 10 years.
Well, dig it.
But yeah, no, it's there was a bit of an interesting discussion about it.
Right.
Yeah, you got it in one. You got it in one.
There you go.
Yeah. So it was an interesting conversation. I know that a lot of people were really mad at the way that we handled that situation,
Are
and
you serious? Why? Why are they upset? What is their problem, Grump?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because
I
I
have no
thought
idea.
we handled that interview professionally and decently. As we talked about before, were people expecting a witch burning in the public virtual square?
Well,
You know,
considering I'm technically a witch, I don't really participate in
and
in
such
Salem
facilities. I
trials.
was going to say such facilities such as that.
Yeah, I don't purport to like that sort
Exactly.
of thing. So
And since our show here is about positivity, why we want to engage in such hypocritical delights, if you know what I mean.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's really
Well, there's no reason for it.
no reason for it. But basically, to kind of quash any rumors out there, no, it was not for publicity. No, it was not for
Yeah.
this, that, or the other thing. Like it was just because I thought it was the most opportune time to do that, and offered the best chance to get honest answers. Honestly,
Oh, and at the same time here with yours truly, and I'm going to drink deeply from the Spider-Man head, by the way.
a little bit concerned. You didn't put whiskey in that, did you?
I'm not going to answer that question because I don't have to.
All right,
There we go.
blasphemy, blasphemy.
Hey, it's Spider-Man. It's always better when it's in Spider-Man's head. But anyways, getting back to the interview. No, the thing is that yours truly has been involved with media for quite some time now. Thought that was a very smart, intelligent, decent interview overall. Like if people were expecting us to hold Toy's feet to the fire and stuff like that, wasn't going to happen.
Well, here's the thing, and for some people who've been following me on Twitter, I mean, this is not my first rodeo in terms of media, right? It's not my first first go around. In terms of media, I'm a journalist first, right? Like I'm an author. I'm a journalist. I don't do this stuff to get clout. I don't do this stuff to get attention. I do this stuff because I know that I can do it, like objectively.
Yeah.
And so it was a bit concerning when I heard that some individuals were claiming that I was doing it to kind of like for clout chasing reasons or to prop up our convention or whatever else. It's like, well,
Let's not go down that path, shall we?
well,
The
or
prop
grow
up.
my channel like and to grow my channel as much as honestly like as much as I really enjoy all the folks in the audience and not a slight to anybody out there. If this channel went down tomorrow, I wouldn't care, honestly. This is something that we do for fun. This is something that we do to entertain people and to just have a good time
and entertain ourselves in the process, right?
Entertain ourselves in the process. Yes. Like again, I'm hoping to be in a live stream, like a bigger live stream tomorrow. It gets a bigger audience, so I don't want to.
This? How can it get much bigger? I can't even fathom that.
Well, that's the other part too. It's like I don't understand what reach people think we have.
Oh, I think we have like gazillion billion views every time we go out and broadcast. So
yeah, exactly. It's like I mean, it's not like we have a massive audience and whatever else. No one's listening to us anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
no, wait a second. Let me correct just a little bit. People are listening, just not hundreds and thousands, billion, gazillions. Not yet, anyways. Influencers, I think we all are influencers in our own way. But again,
well, maybe in our city, maybe.
Oh yeah, but however, long story short, we do what's fun, and at the same time, this is a separate project away from our other events that we have that's outside of Kitchener Comic-Con because we're not a one-trick pony. We get several events we work out throughout the calendar year. Taking a break from some of them from this year because obviously for personal injuries due to yours truly. But however, long story short, we're more than the sums of the events that we're a part of. And anything we get involved with is always a good time and done for fun and done for the right reasons.
Well, and to add on to that, I mean, like we did. I invited Toy on the show for a number of different reasons. Right, part of it was because, like, for the folks that out there that don't know me that might see this later, I'm a huge supporter of Vic. I'm one of the main reasons that Vic came to Canada. I don't like to say this because like I don't like to take credit for it. It was a team effort, obviously. Like we all did our part and everything else like that. But in terms of PR, in terms of all that stuff, like I was fighting tooth and nail against people that were trying to cancel our convention, people that were trying to get us in trouble with the city and get us in trouble with our sponsors, etc., etc. And I don't know.
You and the team were fighting against that. So,
Yeah.
It was definitely a group effort. If we didn't want him there, we wouldn't have had him there. And everyone
That's what I'm saying.
Broadcast knows that. So yeah, I'm hopping in a Wrangler.
You're just like hopping from thing to thing here. So
I am. Just
Right.
think I got a little bit tipsy last time around. Well, at least I got the crystal skull this time.
But yeah. But basically, long story short, is like I've written articles, I've done all sorts of stuff supporting Vic, and I'm very, very clear and very adamant on my stance of where things are with Vic, and I think like I have gone on record. I have gone on record before saying that I believe him and his side of things, and part of bringing Toy onto the show on Saturday was because I wanted to get insight from him, and I wanted him to say stuff. I wanted him to talk in his own words, and I wanted him to hear himself.
Yeah,
and I wanted him to come to an understanding because up to this point, he's never like admitted fault, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like he thinks he's justified in this whole thing. And there's a lot of stuff that many people that have been watching this and reviewing this the whole time. We see a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
The hardest thing to do when you're in the middle of something like this is have introspection, because it's really, really easy, especially when you're in a position that Toye is right now, where it's kind of like a pseudo victory. When you're in a position like that, it's really, really hard to admit that you did something wrong.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted to, it wasn't about, because I know there's a lot of people that were trying to have me press about this and that, and push and like call him out on certain things he was saying, et cetera, et cetera. It wasn't about it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that at all. It was about specific things. It was about, and if you go back and listen to the questioning that I did, and the way that I questioned him, and the way that we were talking, it was about getting him to, and he said a lot of stuff. Yeah. Not if you want to hear it for yourself, you can go back and watch the video. There's other people out there that are dissecting the video, and I'm probably going to be talking about it tomorrow on somebody's stream. Yeah. So I don't want to like take away too much from that stream, because I promised I would do it. Yeah. But basically, he said a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I think it's a lot of stuff that he said for the first time, and it's probably stuff that he's come to terms with and realized for the first time. So I know that he was saying crap all the way up to the day, like all the way up to the minute before he came on the show on Saturday. Yeah. And I know that he was trying to make it seem like he was completely innocent in the entire situation as well. But the fact of the matter is when you're running an interview like that, when you're running a show or you're doing an article, you can put your bias into it. That's no problem. Like you could do whatever you want. Obviously, you can do one way or the other. But at the end of the day, people are going to look at that, and people are going to look at the final result, and they're going to say, okay, how much of that response that you got out of there, how much of that was crafted by the bias of the interviewer? Yeah. So when I'm going into an interview with Ron Toy, and I'm talking to him honestly from human to human, and I want him to give an answer that's honest, true, and raw, and I don't want him to be making up stuff. I don't want him to be lying. I don't whatever else. And to be honest, I'm perfectly fine if he lies as well. I'm perfectly fine if he wants to make up crap on the fly, as long as it's a raw answer. That's what I want.
Allowing him to talk about it in his own way and giving him an actual avenue to talk about it versus having other people skewing the actual narrative in one direction or another.
Exactly. Like I didn't want to lead him to an answer that I wanted to hear. I wanted him to come up with his own answer, and I
Mhm.
wanted him to come up with his own point.
Yep.
Right. So for people that are cutting things here and there, you might miss a little bit of the context because if you cut up my answer or the things that led up to it, there's a few times that he's went on a few rants that I had to pull him back to what I was asking originally. But every question that I was asking, I asked for a very specific reason, because these are things that Ron had never come to terms with, and these are things that he's coming to terms with now. So hopefully, that means good things in the future for all parties, and hopefully that means less stress and less nonsense and whatever else. But
More maturity, perhaps.
more maturity. But I mean, like it's up to him, obviously. It's up to he did say a lot of stuff that I'm thinking people are going to be
And
roasting
also,
him for, and
also on top of that, to be totally honest with you, we got some insight that I never heard about before as well. Like,
hello, Action Toys channel, how you doing?
oh, hey, Toys, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Again, I think we got some really earnest insight on Mr. Toy that any other broadcast didn't have before. And I think, giving credit when credit is due, I think we did a good job bringing that out. And it's very difficult to do that because he could have stayed fast. He could have given us just a very short amount of time. He was with us for over around an hour type of thing. And that basically goes towards our actual interview skills and everything else like that. So,
Well, bottom line,
they could always bring them on their show and talk about it.
well, bottom line
Yeah.
is like, yeah, there's 1,000 things that I would want to say to Ron Toy, like from the emotional side of things, because Vic does consider me his friend. I consider Vic a friend, and I'm not just saying that. Like, literally had an hour phone call with him today discussing all this stuff.
Okay.
But more or less, the whole reason that I had the whole reason I had Toy on there wasn't because I wanted insight on him. I mean, I did, and I could have said any number of things to him from an emotional perspective, because I have a lot of like pent up stuff, whatever else. But what would that solve?
Nothing.
It wouldn't solve anything. It wouldn't make my six months ago easier. It wouldn't make Vic's lawsuit disappear. Like I could say anything to him. All it probably would have done was ended the interview early.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that I passed along a little bit of wisdom to him, a little bit of insight, and maybe he realizes now, I'm hoping, exactly what he's put Vic through, what exactly people on his side of the fence have put Vic through, and continue to put Vic through. And hopefully they're going to change their actions moving forward, and hopefully there's going to be some sort of resolution in the future.
And come to a natural 0 point at things.
Because it's really, really naive to think that one instance, like I don't think my live stream or my interview is gonna win or lose a case for either one of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's going to change anything in the grand scheme of things. But ripple starts with a drop, right? So hopefully, Action Toys asking how your day is, Mr. Hobb.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toys. Right now, let allow Crumb to continue her thought, and I'll tell you how my day is after when this is concluded and we move into our next segment of things. If that's okay with you, Crumb.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Basically, I'm hopefully going to be sitting down with another YouTuber. We're going to be breaking down the interview. Going to be going over a few things, and this is more from an educational perspective because, again, I think if Toye does come back to any of these live streams, if he comes back and watches them, or he comes back and listens to this or other streams or whatever else, hopefully from our talk, he'll be more open to taking the criticism, and he'll be more open to listening and understanding, and hopefully that'll make him come to an epiphany about things. I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about him. I share some of those opinions. I'm not here to say that he's a decent person. I'm not here to say that he's cured, he's better. I came out yesterday, not yesterday, Saturday. I came out Saturday with that stream, and I was basically like, I'm not going to tell you guys what to think. I'm not going to tell Toye what to do. I'm going to let him talk. It's going to be on camera. We're going to have it out there, and people can do with it what they will. And hopefully, because like I wasn't doing it necessarily for, publicity and everything else like that. I was doing it so that Toy has something to go back to and have an introspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not part of the hug box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a yes man to him. I don't owe him any loyalty. In fact, in most instances, we're opposed. So I'm not there to be his bestie.
Mm-hmm.
But you can honestly tell a lot about people by how they treat their enemies and how they treat their opposition. So I'm trying to be a fair opponent. I don't like taking groin shots.
Yeah.
So I like to be a fair opponent. I like to get to a good spot.
Yeah.
Action Toys is saying.
Oh.
Action Toys is saying, hope Crumb's day has been fulfilling. It has been pretty darn good today. And Gelth Walker, also known as AKA Girth Walker on that Umbrella Guys channel. Cressy Crumb Walker. Much hugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna drop this invite here again. So yeah, we're basically shooting the shit today. And
yeah, we're basically going over things.
If you want to answer how your day was, Mr. Hop, I'm going to drop an invite.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Basically, my day has been absolutely divine. Didn't sleep too well last night. I had some difficulties with old dream box of mine, but however, long story short, I'm here all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for today's broadcast to entertain our wonderful viewers and basically bring what we bring naturally to the forefront of things. Overall, it's been a good day. Thank you very much, Toys, for asking me how my day was and allow me to return the courtesy. How was your day? Was your day good so far? Are you enjoying our Queen's holiday, Victoria Datus? And of course, there's Crumb with her review of
Toki whiskey.
Toki whiskey. Thank you very kindly. And so far, Crumb seems to like it. Me, I'm just drinking this Canadian Club Classic. It's been brewed for the last 12 years. As you can tell,
he's cracked open like 3 drinks at this point.
It's bigger than my head, which is awesome.
He's cracked open like 3 drinks. So.
But however, dear viewers, please rest assured, I don't have the Crystal Skull with me today, so I'm not going to get as drunk as I was in the previous broadcast. But I promise you, nothing.
We're going to take a quick moment here again to shill.
Oh, shilling
Knuckleheads official merch.
Woo! Buy a t-shirt, pay our rent.
Gelth Walker's going to join shortly. Sounds amazing. Wonderful. So we're going to take that time. Girth Walker.
I've heard nothing but good things about Girth Walker.
Girth Walker. Yes, the Canuckleheads official merchandise now on sale on Teespring. The link is in the video description below.
Did you all see that wonderful design? Who made that, Crumb? Who put that? Did you design that?
I designed this wonderful thing.
You designed this.
It is a full all-over design, front and back.
Yep.
With our Canuckleheads logo right on the front there, nicely. It is polyester. It's really comfortable. I'm hoping to get my shirt in soon. We also have the Felice blanket with all of this nice logo.
You can be wrapped up in the goodness of the Canucklehead show all the time.
And we have stickers. You want to get a sticker? We got stickers.
If this was the 80s, I'd be jonesing over those like a little schoolboy. But unfortunately, I'm not going to school anymore, so just jones over it.
All official OG Crumb designs. Unfortunately, I can't sign them because it's sold on Teespring, but please feel free to go nuts. If you're in America, it's a little bit cheaper. It's like $25 American.
Yeah.
It's dirt cheap.
Well, and also at the same time, it's all handcrafted design by yourself. At the same time, people would spend between $100 to $200 for a T-shirt, but I believe we're selling them for what, $30 American or something like that type of thing.
That's $25 American.
Well, there you go then. So that's not
$25 US. Yeah,
and at the same time, it goes to support your local artist versus your local box store or the Walmart. So always support your local independent retailer and artist. So
if you are a fan of the show, fan of great Canadians. pick up some Canucklehead merch, and toss a coin to your hoser.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
Blaze Firestorm says, ready to be crunked and drunked. Absolutely. Action Toy Channel says, my days have been good. Restored 4 He-Man figures. I saw that.
What? That's amazing. I haven't seen this. Why am I always the last to know of these things? Is there a link I can watch or what?
Were you the one that, because I saw someone else restoring, I don't know if it was you, but I saw someone restoring like a Street Shark figurine too today.
Oh my God. Street Sharks. There's a nostalgic kick to the head from back in the 90s.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back. Oh, we have someone in the studio. I'm gonna bring
Who do
we have Gelt Walker. Welcome.
Is this Mr. Girth?
Mr. Hopper, I don't know why Crumbion finally told you that name, but damn you, Crum.
Well, it kind of sticks with me like pork. But anyways, before we get into particulars here, it's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, sir.
Lovely to have you.
Well.
Yeah, everything's going really well. It's a very fine morning for a change here in Australia. It is a pleasure meeting you. I've heard a lot about you from Krusty with all the stuff going on. Yep, we've had quite a few chats in our Discord DMs.
Absolutely.
Cool.
We've had some talks.
Yeah, well, I'm not too much in the Discord because I'm still trying to learn that new platform. Crumb every once in a while says, you have to get on Discord. I'm gonna go, what's Discord? Sort of like a Mr. Ron Troy going, I don't know how Twitter works.
Oh, that was embarrassing. I
you know what? I think it was just funny, to be honest with you. Because the thing is, as I mentioned before, when I got in Twitter, I had no idea what I was doing, and I still had to figure things out. But of course, that's back when Twitter first started. Because remember, Twitter back in the day was more than just an actual drama dumpster fire. It was a place that you go, you took pictures of your food, and you put it online. And people went, wow, that looks really delicious. And people just saw what you ate. And that's what Twitter was in a nutshell back in the day. But now I'm dating myself horribly, deliciously. Goodness gracious.
It's been a great day.
I don't recall the original version of Twitter.
Really?
Yep, I don't recall.
Probably for the best. Unfortunately, I can't forget about things like that. It's like mental scarring.
I remember when Twitter first came out, I was so adamant against Twitter. I mean, like, I was huge into MySpace. I'm going to date myself here.
Yeah.
I was big into MySpace. Remember the days of MySpace for those folks out there watching? Someone was in your top 6 or your top 5.
Was it Tom, who was everyone's friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Did you have a MySpace, Gelf?
No, I never actually got into it. I was more into just playing online stuff. And you got to remember, Australia's technology, as far as the internet's gone, is so far behind everyone else's. I think we're still we're about the 30th in the world for internet speeds and all that, and you'd think we'd be a lot higher up. But
holy cow!
No.
Who remembers
our internet? Yeah, our internet speeds are bad. Like and before you say it, yes, I can still remember the original dial-up tone.
I was going to say, do you remember when the internet came on in a 3 1/4 floppy?
AOL Online.
That's right. It's like, here's the internet at the palm of your hand. There you go.
My God, we copped all that AOL stuff as well. Like, for me, I remember the original Yahoo chat rooms before they were by all the idiots.
Yeah,
that's where I originally first got my start.
Yeah, guilty.
Does anyone remember MSN groups by chance?
Yes.
Followed by GeoCity. Like back in the day, when I first started off on the internets, getting your net space was like $500 per month type of thing, and you got like 2 disk space full or something like that. And all of a sudden, the wonderfulness of GeoCities came up from nowhere. It's like, oh my God, I could build websites in HTML3. This is amazing. Just craziness. But yeah, then what was it? Yahoo bought up GeoCity or something like that, and they kind of
I think it was Yahoo that bought it, and then it was like Yahoo GeoCities, and then they just kind of folded.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of, well, this isn't really making any money. Goodbye. Goodness gracious.
My goodness.
Yeah, but they all went downhill, especially after all the predators and everything else got hold of the rooms, and they couldn't mod them.
I can't believe that ICQ was allowed to exist.
Oh God, ICQ. Oh my goodness
Oh,
gracious.
Jesus Christ! there's a name from the past.
Yeah.
Wow.
I cannot believe that ICQ was allowed to exist because, like, as far as I remember from the early days of ICQ, you could literally just randomly type in anything and it would connect you to somebody and you could send them messages.
Wow. See, I never really used ICQ that much back in the day. I was I was figuring out web page design and stuff like that. But is it still around or is it gone? Like whatever happened to the ICQ?
ICQ has changed.
Okay. It's changed, has it? And what did it change into?
It's something a bit like, I don't know if it's still around in the same capacity, but it's kind of like it's a bit different, weird. Like it's kind of like a video streaming, like video conferencing thing.
Like Skype?
Kind of like it kind of went the way of Skype, like kind of like the way of Pal Talk. That was another terrible.
Pal Talk.
Pal Talk was a.
Pal Talk is still around. I actually saw the thing in the Play Store not that long ago.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not touching that.
And I can guarantee you, the people that were on Pal Talk 20 years ago, they're still on it today. I guarantee you.
Oh my God, that's
MSN Messenger was
wrong.
the biggest thing on the planet at one point in time. Wow.
I remember MSN Messenger, and I'm sure everyone's done this before. Like you're listening to like a movie or something, and you have the sound up loud. You go to bed, you forgot to sign onto your freaking MSN Messenger, and it's like your volume's like 300, and then someone signs on and just like scares the living shit out of you at 3 a.m.
Speaking of that, Chrissy, I actually had Wooflu did that to me the other day in Discord. I fell asleep and I was the only one left in there, and bloody next thing I know, I'm waking up a couple of hours later with Wooflu talking to me like really, really loud and scared the living shit out of me because I'm like, who the hell's in my house, you know?
People tell me to go in Discord. Okay, excellent.
Oh, Discord's fun. It's just a lot of nonsense that goes on in Discord.
Gotcha.
Especially in Nick's Discord.
Oh my goodness! I don't know how many Discords have a woo in them. Honestly,
Oh my God, a woo is the craziest.
A woo is
What's a woo? I'll bite.
I don't know. You'd have to meet a woo.
Okay,
It's kind of an experience.
I see. I got you. Is there a YouTube video I could watch? Maybe go to a Facebook page, perhaps, and read up on it. No.
No, you'd have to come across to Nick Ricado's Discord for that one.
All right. Well, hey, let's do a little bit of plugging for Nick's Discord, shall we?
Oh yeah. Speaking of plugging, we actually have a Patreon. We have our own Canuckleheads Discord too.
Do we really?
We do.
When did this happen?
A few weeks ago, I guess. I don't know.
Excellent. I'm always shocked and amazed that we have all these wonderful devices floating around the internets.
And Ace LaTrap says my mom worked at AOL, but Ace LaTrap is helping me set up the Discord because they are way better at this than I am. I'm like a super boomer when it comes to Discord. So
you're a super boomer? Oh God!
But yeah, for people who it basically $5 gets you access to the Discord, and that is including if you're a Twitch subscriber, I'll get you into the Discord as well. So $5 gets you in. There's a bunch of other perks for the different tiers as well, like right up to being if you pay a certain amount of bucks a month, then you get a permanent reservation on the show, so you can come in anytime that we have a show. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Ooh, I might have to sub to that.
Yeah,
Chrissy, cool. You know, I love shilling all your shows. Same with Tug stuff, you know.
I appreciate it.
You're not gonna want me saying just to be proper neighbors here. Do you have anything you like to shell by chance?
Me? No. The only thing I've been shilling lately is Tug's Indiegogo for another case of the Littlest Umbrella.
That is true.
I've been shilling.
Another comic coming out? That's amazing.
I'm gonna grab that link real quick.
It's already out. Hold on, I
Cool.
think I've got it here for you, Chrissy.
Did you read?
Perfect. Yeah, you got
Did
it.
you read the original one by chance, there, Girth?
You have to send it to me on Discord because I'm pretty sure I have it links blocked in the thing right now, so I have to part it in myself.
Hold on, I'll double check. Hold on. No, I've sent it in the private chat. There we go. No, I haven't actually received my copy. Apparently, my copy of the original comic is still sitting in Chicago.
Oh, that sounds like a very interesting story to itself. So, when do you get your wonderful publication from Chicago?
No, my luck, yeah, will definitely be well and truly around Christmas time.
Christmas time. Well, that's not too far away. That's what, 5 to 12 months from now, perhaps. I don't know. Time goes stupidly for me from time to time.
Well, it's been going pretty darn
Why
quick.
is your copy in Chicago?
Apparently, that's where a lot of them got sent. So who knows? So I would have loved to have had my copy for my birthday, which is coming up in what's today, the 19th. It's coming up in 4 days. So but
Gotcha.
Things being what they are with the way everything is in the world, like I even tried sending Nick Ricada a package, and as far as I know, 4 weeks later, it's still sitting at the Brisbane airport waiting to be shipped out.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Yeah, that was a really big concern for us because we have I had a COVID scare. I had to make sure that I wasn't COVID positive, and so I had to wait for that before we started sending out anything for whatchamacallit, for the passes for the KCC.
Yeah.
Because people bought passes and we still have them. Like we're waiting on sending them out right now. Just because all of this stuff, we've heard so much crap about missing packages and missing that, and we only have a very
warehouses that have an X behind them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like we have a lot of people that wanted autographs, and we have a limited number of autographs. So if that gets lost, I mean, we can't easily replace that because like Vic's in Dallas and Nick's in Minnesota. So like we can't just like walk down the street, knock on the door, and be like, "Hey, can you sign this again?" So
yeah, and especially with the cost of international shipping, from what I remember, it cost me $27 to send it to you guys, and Tug was saying it cost the same from America. I don't know if Canada would be a little bit more expensive to send it.
Well, it all depends on the size and weight, correct?
Yeah. It a lot of it depends on the size and the weight.
Yeah, and the thing is, the stuff for shipping isn't really that big or that heavy to begin with, so we
some
should be okay.
Some of it isn't. It depends. Like some of it, we're just sending like a couple of posters and a signed card and all that stuff. But some stuff we're sending a little bit more. Yeah. So it'll be a little bit more money for the higher tier stuff. But it's honestly, these people supported us, and we're happy to get it out to them. It's just for anyone out there that's wondering, we're still waiting until everything is good with the postal service before we send anything out.
Really. One of the few things I did as well is that I found out that packages takes like 21 days to deliver. Normal mail, no problem. Packages, good God.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just a hold back a little bit, because one of the few things I did is I wanted to check out express packaging, especially getting stuff around from Ontario, and they couldn't even actually go through that service. That they couldn't recommend it, just because the thing is everyone takes the exact amount of time because everything's all backed up 7 ways from Sunday. So
it was like I was buying some stuff on Amazon just to kind of do some shopping that I haven't been able to do. And one of the options, because Amazon Prime's amazing. I love Amazon Prime. I use that service so often.
Everything else is fine.
I use that service so often. I save so much bloody money. It's not even funny. But basically, they have the options to ship, right? To like 1 day shipping, whatever else. And then they have the options for express and all that stuff. And for most of the stuff, it's like, okay, standard shipping is like, X amount of days. Great. It'll get here in 2 months because of Corona. And then express shipping, $70, and it can get here in the same amount of time because of Corona. I'm like,
wow.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Speaking of shipping, one of the few things that Crumb and I do from time to time is that we get our food from Skip the Dishes. And holy mackerel, how much they charge for that particular stuff too.
Oh, that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, Gelf, do you guys have like an Uber Eats or like a food delivery service?
We have Uber Eats, Menu log and delivery dues, I think it's called, was the other one.
I like that one. That's good.
Awesome.
Delivery dues.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
which one's the best and which one's the worst there?
I use Uber Eats, and I haven't tried the other two, so I don't know what they're like.
Have you noticed that the price has gone up during the Corona stuff?
For us, not really. We pay a high price for everything anyway, so they don't bother doing that. But I love it. So it's like, oh, you can add a $3 tip, and it goes directly to the stores to help them. It's like, hold on, if I'm spending like $40 on food anyway, why should I tip them more bloody money?
No kidding. Holy
You
cow.
know, that helps them out.
What I've been saying too.
Exactly. Holy shit. Well, I know there was a big controversy, at least in North American Uber Eats, because I've noticed like the prices are absolutely ridiculous. Like I'm buying something that's $15, and all of a sudden the total comes to 55. I'm like, hold on, let's dial that back a little bit here.
Something happened.
Well, and that's with free delivery. It's like, okay, hold on a minute. But looking at it, but apparently there's a bit of a controversy a little while ago about how Uber was taking the tips that you give the drivers. So say that at the end of the day, like after the end of the trip or whatever else, you tip the driver through the app, like $5 or $6, and Uber pays the driver say $7 or $8 for the trip. They take the $7 or $8, like the $5 or $6 that you pay them off of what they pay the driver.
Well, that's not so different. Back when I used to work for Domino's, a couple of the stores that I did, we were allowed to keep our tips outright. But some of the stores were like, oh, no, you have to give us the tips, and it all goes into like a communal pool. But you'd never see it because they'd fire you before the end of the year and go, well, see you later. Yeah, so I preferred working for the stores that, you're allowed to keep your tips and you didn't have to worry about it. So
yeah, so stuff like that's extremely shifty, to say things politely.
Yeah,
Goodness.
and plus, if you want to tip your drivers, just tip them cash. That way, they don't have to report it or anything. So
Exactly. Like I always feel bad about like not tipping on Uber Eats, but I'm like, if I have the cash, I think I might start doing that.
I think it might be the best, to be totally honest with you, because again, a tip is supposed to be something that enhance the actual delivery service itself, not the company, to basically pay the actual employee their hourly wages. Like, I think that's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, as an example, I think one of the few things we might want to start doing, I got just a thought: look for other delivery services that don't engage in such predatory practices, perhaps. But again, something off the cuff.
Like that's one thing I've never understood about the USA. Like, why would they deliberately keep their wages so low, and yet those that get tips get added in as part of their pay at the end of the week? It's like, well, hold on. If they're working hard and provide the exemplary service, and you want to tip them for it, that money should go directly to them and shouldn't impact what they're getting at the end of the week.
I agree.
Because good service should always be rewarded, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
It's really stupid.
Why are they punishing like when a customer had such a good experience by taking away the tips? Like
a tip should be a bonus, not a part of the formula equation. To be honest with you, if you'll hardly mind me asking, I've got bad eyes, as I mentioned before. Toys was saying something. I didn't want to interrupt.
It's saying standard sizes for posts are typically cheaper if you toss in an odd shaped box. That's a custom parcel and you pay more. But if you sign up with a business account, you get 5% off all your shipping costs.
So if you sign up with a business account,
I had that one time actually.
Speaking of Action Toys, Mr. Hooper, I dare you to look up his previous comments, especially the one where he's referencing me. That is now the fourth name that I've now had in the last few days.
Geetha, hope Geetha's days would have been well. Geetha Walker. There we go. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Deep lore on the Canuckleheads show.
I don't understand. I'm always the last to know.
If you want to know how it happened, it's because of Ty Beard. That's because of like a couple of weeks ago, as Cressy will confirm that I had the first part of my name in all lowercase,
Okay.
and for some odd reason, Ty thought the L was an I, and he pronounced it, and he did this in the pure Texan drawl where he just dragged it out. It's like Geese Walker, and everyone went nuts with it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm still copping it now because now there's Girth, there's Geetha, obviously, and then there was Rosetta Allen did one to me yesterday as well.
Oh goodness.
And yeah, so Red Valkyrie was paying me up for that one, and on her live stream yesterday, so that was fun.
Goodness.
Oh, and Action Toys says correction 15% off.
Oh, whew, that got spicy. I
That's
like that an
nugget.
awful lot. That's like 15% off the regular price. Maybe it's time to dust off some of those old
It's like 15 chicken nuggets.
right? Goodness gracious. So yeah, so don't mind me asking. I hope you don't mind me if I call you Girth, if that's cool. What movies
We
do you
give
like?
you the choice.
you missed when that one popped up in Tug Stream, which was pretty funny. We had Lug pop in and do a bit of story time to promote the book.
That's cool.
And so we're all sending Lug super chats as we do. And Tug had to explain to Lug what girth meant, and he goes, it means fat. And so it was so funny to sit there and hear Lug go, your girth, daddy, your girth, daddy. It's like, oh my God.
Awkward.
Oh my goodness.
I was rolling around laughing. I had tears coming out of my eyes. It was so perfectly pure and hilarious, you know. It's like,
that's my nickname for you, dude. I'm calling you Girth moving
Oh my
forward.
goodness. I must have just missed that then.
Yeah,
I had to pass out.
So here's my original question once again. With the beer virus upon us and everyone in solitary, et cetera, have you seen any movies at all, Girth? Anything caught your attention?
no, I really don't watch the movies.
Okay. I watch movies.
The last movie I went and saw, I did go and see at the cinema, was Sonic.
Yeah, good movie.
Very good movie. But it's
pleasantly surprised.
unlike you guys, where you guys have all been locked in isolation, here in Australia, certain parts haven't been affected as much. So I haven't been on lockdown.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I've been free to come and go as much as I want, and you know,
Oh, you're lucky.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had to spend like the last 2 months just sitting at home doing basically nothing and trying to find something to do. So I just do live streams and play video games.
You always been doing something. You know that.
Well, I have been building my collection back up because, as Cressy will tell you, I ended up losing my house in December to a house fire. And so, yeah,
I was going to make an offhand remark asking you if Australia is still on fire, but I will restrain from that. My condolences.
No, we've actually gone through a bit of a rainy patch at the moment, so
good.
All the fires are out. But I have seen photos of when Australia was on fire, and like 90% of it was something like that. It's if you look up online, some of the photos are just phenomenal.
Yeah. I've seen. I've had a colleague of mine that went down to Australia for a business trip, and he kind of showed me a before and after, like as an example, before the actual fire took place and after, and just the actual visibility that took place. And I'm going, holy smokes! That must have been, no pun intended, that must have been an extremely horrific experience to go through overall. So,
yeah, but as we all know, the current joke is everything in Australia wants to kill you. But,
this is true.
But what our trees and all that, quite a few of them have actually evolved to the point where they need the temperatures that are generated in a bushfire in order to regerminate. So,
wow.
You know, it's catch-22. You know, we need the fires, but we don't want them to go to the extent they obviously did. So, you know, it's
wow.
It's catch-22.
Well, I mean, it just definitely sounds like Australia is survival mode.
It definitely is, dude. Like, last night, I don't know how many kangaroos while I was doing my job tried to come out and hit the car and all that. So I know you guys have the chances of like running over deer and moose or whatever, and the damage they can do.
Oh my goodness.
Deer. Yeah, like
Everyone
hitting a kangaroo.
Deer.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Hitting a kangaroo would do equal, if not more damage than a deer would, because they are pure muscle.
Yeah, they're like walking muscles.
Well, the funny thing is the mooses up here, it all depends on how big they are, and it all depends on what pisses them off, because there's been some small cars that have collided into large mooses, and the mooses look at the car going, excuse the fuck me? What did you just say? And of course, with the giant antlers, they start ripping the car apart and stuff like that. The person goes, oh my God, help me, help me. It's like,
I don't know if you ever saw the Mythbusters episode about hitting a moose.
No, I've not.
About like the myth is like if you slow down and it does less damage to your car. Nope.
I did not see that episode.
No, they say if you see a moose and you can't stop in time, speed up.
If you're lucky, and depending on the size of the friggin' thing, for goodness sakes. And don't get me wrong, I know about kangaroos, and they could punch people kind of hard and back up on that tail and off the head. But
as long as the kangaroos don't like take out a switchblade and demand your wallet,
trust me. Kangaroos are pussies compared to some of the other creatures around. Look up the Great Emu War.
Oh my God!
You will love that. You will love that, Mr. Hopper. It is the only war in history, and I kid you not, and I can't even say this with a straight face, that we went to war with a bunch of emus, and the emus technically won that bloody war.
Well, you know what? After the broadcast here, and I got a little bit of time, I promise you I will check it up and have a look at it. Definitely not a problem. But on the list of things to do.
Yeah, Action Toy says the goose is the scariest thing out here. It's a snake with wings.
Gooses have attitude, especially Canadian ones. They look at you and go, what do you want?
I've had nothing but pleasant experiences with geese.
You have pleasant experiences with all form of creatures, for goodness sakes. It's like everyone knows.
You even had a pleasant experience with Ron Toye.
Well played, Kurt. Well played.
Sorry, you walked right into that one, mate.
That's true. I mean, I am Irish, so I do have history with snakes. So.
Ooh, ow.
Yeah. You think that's bad? Look up the cassowary. I
will.
We all know what the velociraptors look like in the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
these things are scarier than that.
Oh my goodness!
How big are
they? About the size of an emu. Not quite as big as an ostrich, but
this is going to sound like a silly question. Sorry, go on. Sorry,
yeah.
I'll ask my silly question first. My apologies.
Yeah, I'll ask a silly question, and then
awesome. I'm, as you know, I am Canadian, and I always believe anything can be eaten with butter. So, are these things good eating or what?
Cassowaries, I wouldn't know.
All right, fair.
They're too freaking dangerous to even get near. Because not only do they have the giant claws on their feet, they have a dew claw similar to what the velociraptors do. They also have a bony.
I'm picturing lobsters here, for goodness sakes.
You know what I mean. But they also have like a big bony plate on the top of their head, sort of like what some of the dinosaurs used to have.
Oh, really? So basically, these creatures come with plates in their heads. It sounds even more divine as we go on. But anyways, keep going. Look it up. They're scary as hell is what they can do. They will disembowel you if they can get the chance. Have you ever eaten alligator before?
Hell no. I've eaten crocodile.
Well, they're pretty much the same type of meat structure, because the thing is, it tastes just like chicken. Dump it with butter, and oh my God, it is awesome. Every time I hear about a creature that is so vicious it can tear things apart, I go, can we eat it? Are we really the true apex predator? I think we are. So can we dust it in butter and call it a day? Goodness gracious.
It reminds me of that Simpsons when I think it was when Homer was like just running around eating everything.
I think I remember that episode. But
But
yeah.
you never touched a Vegemite sandwich.
Oh, Vegemite.
Vegemite. Oh God, I've heard of it. I've never had it before. What is this thing?
It's a very unique food group. Trust me on that one.
I've always wanted to try Vegemite.
There is a secret to eating it. I know you guys have like things like Marmite and all that kind of stuff, but I've tried all of those. Yeah, they suck compared to Vegemite.
All right.
I've been told to get Marmite, but I have never tried it. I've never tried Vegemite.
Yeah.
What
is
Marmite's
it?
different. It's salty. The secret is you only put a very light amount on to like your bread or toast, whatever you're eating. So if you put way too much on, you will suffer the consequences from it. So it's kind of weird now thinking about it. It's like, hell, even our food's trying to kill us.
Welcome to Australia, eh? No one likes you. No one wants to eat you. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm just lucky a dingo hasn't eaten my baby.
That's good.
Yeah, those dingoes, they're circling. They're waiting for their opportunity to pounce in there.
Yep. Well, we have some not that far from us actually, over on Stradbroke Island.
Oh goodness.
I think that the worst that we have is like coyotes around here.
Do you have the mixed breeds? I've heard there's like now mixed breeds of coyotes mixing with wolves and just normal dogs to create like a super breed type thing.
Yeah, I think we get the ones with dogs, and like I'm not sure if foxes get in there, but I've seen a lot of foxes around.
I've heard of the crossbreed between the polar bears and the grizzly bears. That's heaven's killing machine right there, for goodness sakes.
You got to start worrying when the black bears start breeding with the grizzlies or the brown bears. Whatever bear can climb trees. That's a terrifying one.
Quick, climb the tree! You can't get us. Nope, not today,
Isn't that like the sun bear or something?
That's just like the fuck you bears. That's what that is. Let's get the fuck out of there, bear.
So let's go back to something just quickly here. Back to the Sonic movie. Crumb and I, we talked about that. We did a mini review on it. What did you like about that, Girth? What drew you in to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
What drew me in was watching all the controversy when they brought out the original trailer and just how bad the design was, and then watching how the directors actually did the right thing by listening to the fans and went, well, okay, we stuffed up. We'll cop that fairly. Go back in and redesign it. I don't know whether they tweaked some of the movie in general while they had the chance to do it. Even possibly telling there was that controversy how Jim Carrey was basically having a go at fans having too much power over movies, but eventually he also changed his tune and went, you know what, the fans were right.
Yeah. And,
shut his mouth about it, and basically went back to the Jim Carrey that we grew up on. Yeah. And instead of doing like what Ewan McGregor did for that god-awful freaking movie that it was in last.
Okay, wait a second. Which one is that? There are so many bad movies out recently. Absolutely astonishing.
The Harley Quinn movie. Whatever.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. That is a dumpster fire movie I have not seen. It's sort of free on the high seas, if you know what I mean, to watch. But I hadn't even touched that at all. As a matter of fact,
so bad they had to name it 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. And I also heard that there's some editing with it while we're still in theaters. Like, one of the few things that doing beaming and projecting these days is that they could actually do editing on the movie on the fly from the studio and just substitute the beaming in aspect of things, which is just completely atrocious if you ask me. Because the way I look at it, if a movie's supposed to suck, then let it suck and let it be. But once you start editing things, it gets on a really slippery slope, especially for content and also integrity for the overall movie itself. So it's like, just not impressed by it.
With all of that actually happened with that movie, it makes me wonder if Mel Brooks was onto something. If you remember the movie Spaceballs, there's the scene in there where they're doing the whole thing where they're like, where are we now in the movie? We're at this point in the movie. What do you mean? And they're doing that whole intercourse where they're talking about, like where they are in the movie, that it's, they're still being filmed, but it's already out direct to the market and all that kind of stuff. It's like, it makes me wonder if Mel Brooks is onto something. I don't think many people have actually linked that back to that particular movie, actually kind of getting that right,
Yeah, it's
something so completely insane is now possible. Yeah.
It just went plaid, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
The Schwartz is bigger. The Schwartz is bigger than my Schwartz is bigger than yours.
And don't forget, Girth, it's all about the merchandising, the toilet paper, the merchandising.
We shall see you all in Spaceballs 2. The search for more money.
May the Schwartz with you.
Yes.
Kids will eat this up.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no.
We've been jammed, sir. What sort of jam? I believe it's raspberry. So many quotable quotes in that movie.
Hasn't even found a damn thing.
Comb the desert.
Yeah. Michael Winslow as the radar operator. That was just classic piece of filming there.
Fantastic.
The air that's in an actual sealable can. Who saw that coming as an actual legit thing? I'm not quite sure if you heard about this, Girth, but here in Canada, we were selling air to the wonderful populace of China. It's the weirdest thing. It's like Canadian Air, an actual pop lid container, and we were selling these for like $12 a piece. And
oh my god, that reminds me on the Gold Coast. Not that long, a few years back, they had those hydro refreshing bars. You can go in there and they hook you up to like the air cannulas and all that kind of stuff. So if you've been out drinking, you go and get a hit of this stuff to revive you and all that.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Forgive me for being a bit of a novelist, but I've never heard of this before. Can you walk us through this?
Well, I never actually went into it because I was never big into the going out clubbing or drinking on the Gold Coast. I was generally working. So this bar turned up on the Glitter Strip, which is where most of the nightclubs are. It's right next to a really good pizza store down there. You could buy pizzas slices by the, fairly cheaply. But anyway, so you go in there like completely shit-faced. They hooked up to like the cannulas that you'd have like you get in hospital when they want to, keep you on oxygen.
Okay, gotcha.
So you go do that, and they hook up. I don't know whether it was just pure oxygen or an oxygen hydro mix or whatever. But apparently it was completely restorative and blah 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 and fairly expensive. So I personally believe it was just something to take advantage of the drunks. But what do I know?
Well, the funny thing is, what do most of us know in today's time? But however, if it works, cool. Because here in Canada, I've never heard anything like that before. And of course, anyone in the chat is more than welcome to correct me on this. But however, weird.
Yeah,
cool, but weird. Did you hear anything about that? There, Crumb?
No, it's the first I'm hearing about it. That's interesting.
Yeah. So basically, you breathe in this oxygen stuff, and it dilutes the alcoholism. Maybe we should tell Nick about this.
Well, I did hear about something like I don't know if it was the Olympics or some other sporting event that they cracked down on it because athletes were taking concentrated air, like concentrated oxygen, and they were using it to get performance enhancement.
Yeah. And also one of the few things I based on that as well is that there was some people going for the Olympics basically train themselves in higher altitudes of
they've been doing that for years though. like the boxers specifically go and do it to
How
go
much of
and
your
train
drink?
at higher altitudes and then come back down to the lower altitudes, like
Fill my glass.
within the day or two of the fight, and they're still pumped up from all that oxygen. It makes the
Yeah,
fight
exactly.
go easier. It makes them last longer. But
There's
it's
always
creating
ways.
but doing it that way, it's creating like a natural thing for your body. It's sort of like if you're a knight, every day you're picking up your armor, you're putting it on. Of course, you're going to get stronger by doing it every day and all that. It's just part of the way they train their bodies. So
well, it's kind of funny. Is it really doping, or is it just part of the exercise? If you know what I mean. So I don't know. It's a slippery slope, and it gets pretty slippery pretty quick.
If it's pure oxygen, I would say it's not doping because you're not really adding anything into your system that would be considered
but the point
chemical
is
enhancement.
That changes the whole dynamic very quickly, because if we have two Olympians supposed to be on the same level of things, we got one that's in another environment. Do you think that's an actual fair a fair aspect when it comes down to see who is the better athlete? Because if you have one athlete that has an advantage just because of the environment and the other athlete doesn't, does that make an even playing field? Again, just proposing the question. It is a fair question to ask, if you know what I mean. Because
isn't that the purpose of the Olympics?
What's that?
Isn't that the purpose of the Olympics?
In which aspect? Sorry, see who's better?
I mean, well, yeah, like to see which, because like Canada is different than Australia in terms of certain things, and like it's different than Africa, it's different than Japan. We're all going to have different atmospheres.
Hey, you could always have a Stephen Bradbury moment too. Don't forget.
It's true.
Goodness, but I don't know. The thing is that, again, I think there is some even playing fields, especially let's say the plains of Africa versus the plains of Australia versus Canada. But the thing is, when you start talking about altitude, that changes things as well. So I don't know. It's again, when it really comes down to it, it's really a slippery slope, and it's it's an interesting question to ask. So the thing is that So what did Toys want there? I saw that again.
Toys was saying, remember back in the day when Olympics banned clean air because the athletes performed better.
I've forgotten about that.
Then again, you could also turn around and do what George Carlin said. Just basically go ahead and let them all take whatever drugs they want to take. Let them produce whatever. Because if you look at the way humanity has grown up with everything, like the way we advance is usually through warfare more than anything. Technically, wouldn't this be like having all our prime athletes going off and doing whatever drugs, becoming super buff, ripped, whatever? Wouldn't they be able to study that and do all that to be able to learn to make better things for us that, I know we're near as bad as what they're taking?
That
sort of like how our technology... Yeah, like sort of how our technology advanced along with warfare and all that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it changes because of the human condition. I don't know. Who am I? You know what I mean? Because at the same time, you put like a cybernetic arm there and have it like twice as big. And the thing is that now you have a clear definition between naturally enhanced versus actual enhanced. And
well, then you have the other argument right now that's going on. In terms of like the transgender athletes,
I wasn't going to touch that, but yeah.
I honestly don't believe that if you get enough trans athletes to be able to create their own, race or whatever, let them do that. But don't have the male athletes who are trans going up against the females. That is not fair.
Well, in my opinion, depending on what it is, I think you should have like your male thing, your female thing, and a universal.
Yeah, that was the other suggestion I was going to drop in. Why not do that? Where they're all just competing against one another, and may the best person win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because if they're all screeching about equality, it's like, well, they're all going head to head, regardless of sex, gender, whatever.
The Rock says it shouldn't matter.
Well, like honestly though, like there are some like cisgender women out there that are, as athletic or as strong as some men. Like probably not the strongest of each, but it would be really interesting to see if there would be like cisgender people that would want to go into a universal category where they could compete against the opposite sex.
Yeah.
It would be interesting anyway.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like, I know they've done that throughout history with a few people. I think there was a case here in Australia where there were two horses, both famous race horses. One was male, one was female. In the end, they actually put them head to head to see who would win.
All right.
It's like the battle of the sexes with the tennis back in the day.
Yeah. No. That's always interesting stuff. How do we get in this topic, by the way? It's really kind of cool how we switch from Sonic talking about Olympians.
Well, Sonic's got to go fast, right?
Oh, this is true. It's true. So how are other movies down in Australia there, eh?
Expensive.
Do tell. So some of us do not know how the Australian box office works.
It's pretty much set up like everyone else's around the world, but unfortunately, we tend to pay more because apparently, it costs more to ship stuff, and yet, as Chrissy pointed out before, it's all of it's being done digital now and being sent via the internet. So
how does shipping get involved with that? Because you're no longer shipping cans of film from A to B. It's all being beamed in from satellites, from Google and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's nuts. Like even on YouTube, I know you guys are paying like $3-4 for videos and all that. We're paying up to 10 in some cases.
Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness gracious!
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good example. The FF7 game, the remake.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the world, it was supposed to come out, I think, at a fixed price point of $60-something.
Okay.
But here in Australia, we were paying $99.
$99? Are you friggin' kidding me?
Yeah, like I just recently purchased the Ultimate Edition of Valhalla. That cost me $170.
$170 for a friggin' movie?
No, for the Valhalla game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Okay, cool. I'm going for a movie. What? Damn.
That's insane. That is insane.
Yeah.
And is this wait a second there, Girth. Is this a virtual copy or a physical copy?
I go physical copy all the way because you look at the way Xbox, Steam, and a few other people were having a few arguments. What was it, last year or something? Where they were turning around going, well, we're all just going to go pure digital, and all of us old school gamers like, no, we want the physical copies. Because
especially $70 friggin' per game. Fuck.
Well, the other point to that was when they was turning around talking about just going pure digital. Basically, all we're doing is renting it for X period of time. And if they want to yank that from your system, they can go ahead and do that, and you have no say. But if you've got the physical copy, you can turn around and go, "Fuck you!" Now try taking it off me.
Yeah. Well, again, I say this an awful lot, but 100% with that, because one of the few things where we talk on the Weekly Trending Fandom Show is digital versus physical, and one of the few things about from what I've been talking about recently is about the difference between the two and how shady people like GameStop basically make people pay for their actual physical content, and surprise, friggin' fucking surprise, don't have the actual physical copy waiting for them to pick up. Which I think is absolutely a tragedy into itself, especially when you wait like all night long in the fucking rain to pick up the copy you paid for, and you finally get up to the line to the desk and say, hello, sir. I'm here to pick up my copy of my video game. Do you have a copy on hand by chance? Please let me have it." And they go, "No, you'll get no physical copy. Fuck you." And it's like, excuse me? Fucking what? I've been waiting for how long for my copy? Like, oh my God. And the thing is that there are some aspects for virtual, in my opinion, for as humble as it is and for what boomer it may be ish, the thing is that there's some aspects of digital that works. But at the same time here, when you're paying $170 for an effing game, goodness Christ, in a handbasket, that's a lot of coin, whether you're Australia or American or Canadian or whatever and whatnot. Like, my God. And I have the actual digital company going, well, we could delete this off your platform anytime. Boop, boop, boop. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Craziness.
Action Toys is asking, correct me if I'm wrong, was Australia the only place that forced Fallout 76 to refund players? That's a good question.
I don't know. I never got into the Fallout series, so I avoided it. Just on a side note, guys, I've got to drive to work, but because I'm on hands free, I can still stay talking to you. So if you hear me driving, it's just because of that. I just got to take the car into work.
Sounds good.
Please stay safe there, Girth. We don't want to get in an accident with a kangaroo, for God's sakes.
Well, I mean,
no, kangaroo is more at night, dawn and dusk, not so much during the day.
Gotcha. Cool. I guess you're safe for the moment momentarily.
I feel honored that we're about to get taken on a ride on the Australian.
I feel
side here.
I feel giddy going up to the outback with a good friend Girth here as we go across the actual wonderfulness of the Australia.
That's actually not a bad attempt at the accent there.
Thank you, sir. I thank you.
Yeah, it's better than Tugs and a few others that have tried the accent.
Oh, God. Do me a small favor. I know this might be a little bit difficult to take in, but when you're driving at a red stoplight, if you take a picture for me, that'll be awesome. And throw it on whatever social media, and I'll get Crumb to give me a copy of it. Again,
what do you want me to take a picture of?
Just take a picture of the scenery when you get to a red light, or the case may be.
If I do that, because I'm on my phone, it'll kick me out of YouTube, so I'll have to do it afterwards and send it to her.
Do it afterwards. It'll be absolutely fantastic, and I do appreciate that. Thank you, my good sir. And we can chat a bit more as you hit it off the Knuckleheads broadcast off to your wonderful work of employment. Who knew Crumb would be mobile?
By the way, speaking of your channel, I've been watching everyone's take on your nice Toye video.
Oh,
just Come Geeks, Hero Hey, Tug. I'm expecting Nick to cover it eventually.
Yeah,
possibly a few others.
Yeah, I think the keyword eventually. I know last night he was saying that he had no intention of talking about it right now.
Which is unfortunate because I think it's the hottest thing on YouTube right now to ever be so bold, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, as I said to Cressy in DMs, it's like, I'm glad it was Chris, like this channel that did it, and that I will give Ron credit for coming on knowing that Cressy is a friend to Vic. So, you got to give him props for that, going, okay, cool, at least he's attempting to get his side out despite, Cressy's allegiance to Vic.
Yep, and also at the same time here, he gave us like a full 60 minutes, you know what I mean? And the thing is that really, really says a lot towards the interview and the interviewee, if you know what I mean. Myself, the thing is that, again, I've been involved with broadcasting, radio, and television and film for quite some time now. And the thing is that, as some people would wish to criticize this particular broadcast, the thing is that it was done respectfully. It really, really was. Because the thing is that, I could be a completely flip-mouth idiot and say X, Y, and Z, but I didn't, because the interview itself was handled majestically, intelligently, and fairly. And the thing is, that's very important for an interview such as that. Because the thing is, if I came across with my flash mouth and said, well, Mr. Toy, you said this back in January, and hubba, 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 was totally like, the guy would drop us and move away. And the thing is that
and it would have given Kick Vickers way more ammunition to use against Vic with everything and all that. And we didn't give them anything. And we tried to, you guys tried to do your very best to keep everything extremely level-headed. And you hit him with quite a few questions that even I winced at. But
Yeah.
I was thinking, at least there's one thing Ron can't do to you while he's having a live chat. He can't give you the smiley emoticon.
That's true.
This is very, very, and when it comes down to it, Cressy did an absolutely fantastic fucking job. And then one of the things about me is that, again, I'm usually the quiet guy that laughs along, stuff like that, and I know what's going on. The thing is that that's fine. The thing is that with Cress, she did an absolutely fantastic, amazing job because everyone's waiting for Blood Sports saying, "Oh, ask the hard questions. Let's roast this motherfucker on this question," type of thing. Like, no, this is going to be handled professionally. It's going to be handled with style. And then on top of that, when it really comes down to it, the thing is that it was a good interview. It really, honestly was. And the thing is that I don't say that just to better the conversation. Like, I really honestly mean that. And of course, the thing is that with anyone else, we'll be going, well, you should this. And then top of the thing is that through this one interview, I may add, if I could be so bold, we learned more about Ron Toye than any other broadcast that I'm aware of. And the thing is that I think that's very important.
It was really on par with all the conversations that Nick's been having with him. It really was. If anything, it more complemented and showed a different side to Ron than what was going on in all the conversations. So,
well, like I had a conversation because Vic was receiving a lot of emails from people saying that the interview was a shit show, that it was terrible.
Oh, fuck them. Sorry. Keep going.
No.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like, he was a little bit upset.
Yeah.
So I had to explain to him my thought process behind it, why I wanted to do that and go into it. But yeah, like, very much like I trusted that I was be able to cut through. There's a lot of people. Most of the criticism that I understand is that I didn't. That it seemed like I was just letting him have a platform and letting him defame Vic and say that and everything else like that. I didn't for a second. I wasn't convinced by anything that he had to say. Like, he was in here talking about this, that, everything else. I didn't think for a moment that he was, like, right. Like I said before, I said after that I believe Vic, and like Toye said a lot of stuff that was designed to, like, save his behind or make him look better and everything else like that. But the fact of the matter was, it's like, even immediately after telling him, like, why do you feel the need to justify yourself, he tries to justify himself. So,
well, it all comes back down to saving face. And on top of the thing is that, again, it was a good interview. It is what it was. At the same time, we gave him the opportunity to speak his mind. And I think that's more important than anything else, especially digging up a new narrative and stuff like that. But again, maybe they're just looking at things from a naive perspective, perhaps. But again,
one thing that I did say in my conversation is, like, I'm not going to go into the whole detail about what I talked with Vic about, but one thing I did say in the conversation with Vic was that all of this stuff, like, because Vic was like, why would you bring him on? He's already been made to be an idiot by this person, that person, this person, that person, right? Like, he's already shown this. Like, it's in the depositions. Why do you need to do this yourself? And like I said to him, it's like, look, you can have a Nick Rekieta call him out and show him that he's an idiot. You can have a Hero Hay call him out and show him that he's an idiot. You can have a Come Geek Some show him that and tell people that he's an idiot. You can have Tug come out and tell people that he's an idiot. But this time he came out and he said it himself. Like, I think he realized it too. He said certain things, and like as you can tell by the body language in the interview as well. I think he really kind of realized for the first time, maybe the first time, that maybe he was wrong. Maybe he was wrong about this. And I think it's
Yeah,
important.
well, obviously he's had a lot of time to reflect, being stuck at home and all that.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me.
Because, like, honestly, you look at it, and it's like he's been told by everybody that he's right on his side of things, and he's been told by people who have been quote unquote mean to him that he's wrong. And so, who's he going to believe? Is he going to believe the people who've been nice to him, or the people that are vehemently against him and making fun of him? Like, honestly, and again, yeah, it does complement what Nick had been saying on his streams and things like that. So it gives more weight and it gives more credence to what people on the critical side have been saying, because now it's coming from Ron Toye's mouth itself. And, like, yeah, a lot of that was there in the depositions, but people can argue, well, that was forced out by lawyers or whatever else like that. But I didn't coerce him into saying anything.
And
you were actually extremely fair with all that. You didn't even take any personal jabs or shots where, I honestly think, a lot of us would have, just because of everything. And you managed to keep it on, well and truly on the professional side of it.
Right.
And basically, you gave him enough rope to do what he needed to do.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, you can't ask for a better interview than that. So, if anything, I hope that, honestly hope that Vic watches it and, understands that it wasn't done to slight Vic, it wasn't done to slight anyone else or cause any more controversy. It was done to basically help settle it down. And the fact that even Ron said he wants it to settle down, compared to how it has been, it's shocking coming from him, to hear that, it has to settle down. So something's obviously happened, with all the stuff while he's been in quarantine. And, he's had to live with the weight of all of it to how it is now. It's completely different. If anything, the quarantine's done a world of good for the case and everything. Yeah. It's getting people to, grow up a little bit.
Kind of take a moment and pause.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that a couple of Canuckleheads in Canada and some guy in Australia have the exact same mindset about this? Down to it. Well, it's about healing and coming together and finding at least the smallest bit of maturity to move forward with things. Because again, the thing is that we're looking at a broader community overall. And the thing is that when you have two sides being divided right down the middle, it's like stuff like this needs healing. And the thing is that, again, it's about the broader community getting together and enjoying themselves. How can you do that if you have a literature war on both sides of things? The thing is that at least with broadcasts and shows such as this, at least we have the actual maturity and the actual civilness to go through actions such as this. Because there'd be other shows, be going, well, we're going to make Ron look like an idiot, and that's how it's going to be. Boop, 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 boop. Again, what does that really serve? You know what I mean? Just
it's Well, admittedly, I don't know. Like the other week, I think I showed Chris in the DM that we had a Ron Toye and Monica Real jump in Extreme. I don't know if that was the real Ron. I think it was just someone spoofing his account. But yeah, because there's been a few of them do that, which has been really, really weird. But even those guys got to learn to just drop it.
Well, that's basically what it comes down to, honestly, and it's not going to stop until people start taking the air out of the tires of the extremes, right? And another thing that I said was like, I'm not here calling out Vic's supporters because I'm one of Vic's biggest supporters. I haven't been one of his longest supporters, but I can tell you I've been one of the people that have been going out there unprovoked. Like, so I didn't ask Vic permission. Like, this caught him off guard because I did not ask him permission. I didn't tell him I was going to do this. And like, for people out there that are wondering if I did this for clout, anything else like that, like no, we
No,
already
fucking-
had
sorry.
had Vic at our convention. Like we already have we've already hit the home run. We hit the grand slam. We did an amazing event. We did a great thing, and we had a.
I do agree. You've got to have, like Ron said, it'd be nice to have the virtual convention. So people like me who can't fly to Canada and all that to attend would be really, really nice. So we can do that. That's why I said to you, it'd be nice to have a video professional photographer and all that there to be able to film it and set all that up. So those of us that can't attend can actually watch it and do whatever and
have a virtual experience. Yeah.
And one of the few things
and be able to support you guys that way.
And one of the things I want to jump in here really, really quickly, since the very part of my foreign language fucking consumption of KCC, we've always tried to work on an actual streaming program, not to take away from the convention initiative itself, but to enhance it. Because one of the few things I've always been talking about, especially with Chris here and everyone else in between, is that I had a friend of mine who was living in Japan, for God's sakes, and he wanted to see our event, and then he couldn't, because heaven forbid, there's like the small body of water separating from A to B. And the thing is that with my actual broadcasting skills and stuff like that, want to bring it to the forefront. And one of the few things we managed to do, unlike other conventions I've done in the past, is that we've actually have several formats that we can broadcast our actual content over. Like as an example, as Chris mentioned, is that myself, okay, I have over 15 to 20 years of broadcasting experience that I can bring to any event moving forward. And Crest herself has another very unique point of view that we can bring as well. The thing is that we could bring multiple formats to an actual event, unlike every other person has been trying to catch up with us and stuff like that. And this has been since the conception of the actual event itself. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the thing is that when you're dealing with volunteers and stuff like that, you're dealing with the goodwill of individuals who are working with your event initiative. And sometimes you can make it work, and sometimes you can't. Because when we had what's his name? Oh God, the guy from on our show. We shot that.
Scott Yaffe, yeah,
Scott Yaffe. We shot that with the highest level of professionalism we could possibly put together. But unfortunately, due to terms of service and streaming sites, we couldn't really fully execute the whole actual thing. But the bottom line is, we've been working on this for the last 6 years, and on top of that, part of my foreign language.
We finally got it up and running briefly.
Yeah,
for the Nick Rekieta stream.
Because the thing is that with Cress here, the thing is that she brought her actual point of view and everything, because heaven forbids I was working the front lines trying to put things together. And unfortunately, I had to make a decision. Do I work on the front lines, or do I actually fungal around with the actual broadcasting thing? And the thing is that this is before this whole actual this is before the whole beer virus thing hit and everything else like that. So the thing is that we are far ahead a wave of the curve. And the thing is that we're doing things that are very innovative within the industry itself. And the thing is, to make things even more fantastic, it's all done in-house. So the thing is that, yes, bringing a more virtual experience to the actual convention, we're working on for the last 6 friggin' years, for goodness sakes.
Well, I mean, long story short, we've been pioneering it for a number of years. And we finally found the opportunity to do it last year. Mostly the stuff that we've had, like, it's always been like technical issues or last second technical glitches, and basically coming down to manpower to do it. But we had a successful run for the last half of Rekieta's second panel. So we now know what to do. We now know what our capabilities are in that room, and we can move forward with that. So
and even as I said, when you had Lady Racket singing with Vic, or even Vic singing to you, it would have been better to have like those impromptu moments. Would have been better to have like a better quality of that, because Chris, like, even watching that was painful just because of the video quality. But
well, the funny thing is, you're absolutely correct. I could actually say lovingly is that just basically brought the moment of the actual event to the forefront of things. And the thing is that, thank goodness, we managed to capture that moment, and that's more important than anything else moving forward. Because to be honest with you, one of the few things that I wanted to see, and one of the few things that I wanted to bring to the format, especially showcasing Vic's talent, for goodness sakes, is to show that he's more than just a one-trick pony. What I mean by that is that individuals who get in the entertainment industry is that they focus on one particular talent. That'll be voice actor, the case may be. We were the only event that showcased that was singing talent. And I wanted to showcase that. Like, as an example, that piano on stage, there's such a story behind that alone. And that's just one small element of what took place during our actual event throughout that throughout that particular convention. And the thing is that what took place there, Girth, the thing is that when both Dick and Nick's wife start singing, the whole convention fucking stopped.
Well, that was a really interesting.
Yeah, I did notice that, and
the thing is that
everyone stopped to listen.
Hold on a second, and everyone whipped up their cell phone. And one of the few things that I've been a part of for a while now is that larger events don't even do that. We really had a genuine moment.
Well,
sorry, the car's back by.
No worries. To elaborate on that a little bit without rehashing too much, basically that was all impromptu. Like, yes, we planned to have Vic maybe like play a song or something like that if he had time. So we got the keyboard in there to kind of tease that. But I didn't know that Lady Rackets was going to go up there and sing with him. Like, that was incredible, and like that you could hear a pin drop for all the people that literally had stopped there. And what you don't see on the video was the people hanging over the balcony watching. Like, literally every eyeball was on the two of them. Like, that was incredible. It was such a moment,
and it's genuine.
Yeah.
Rackets must have been so proud, considering Lady Rackets doesn't really like coming on stream and all that kind of stuff when he's doing that. For her to just get up and balls up and start belting those songs out, it's like,
I know, yeah,
it would have taken everybody by surprise.
Yeah. And we have another person in studio bringing on Blaze Firestorm. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you guys doing?
Blaze,
not bad, Blaze.
Welcome to the show, my good sir. And how are you doing on this wonderful, wonderful day?
Kind of tired.
Oh, goodness gracious! I think we all are.
I went to work today and worked a 6-hour shift lifting and moving boxes and stuff.
Oh, my heart's with you, my friend. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Hopefully you'll find it a little less physical. But anyways, we got Gert driving us around in the Australia Outback there, eh?
Yeah, we're all
quite the Australian Outback.
We're all in the back seat right now.
That's right. As we're sitting comfortably in all the little Stacid pods. Yeah, so anyways, we're getting all emotional over one of our many, many different Kitchener Comic-Con moments this year.
Well, one individual that was at the event, you can see by that T-shirt.
That would be me. I was there and I was at the Vic panel.
And what do you think of the final closing of Vic singing there? Was that amazing or what, eh?
I didn't actually see Vic singing.
What? No.
No, I actually went home before that point.
Why?
Oh my God. Pressy, share the video with the poor boy.
I've seen it on YouTube. It was great.
It was. It really.
You must be kicking yourself.
I am kicking myself.
And on top of that, to make it even more fantastic and wonderful, it's a free freaking event. Goodness gracious. Who gives that shit away for free in today's time? Oh, that'll be us. Goodness gracious.
Oh, that was a heck of a moment. And like, Blaze was there for the chanting, the "We Stand with Vic" chant.
Who stands with Vic? We stand for Vic. What?
Who stands with Vic? We stand with Vic.
That was Ernest, heaven forbids, fantastic moment. The very first moment is when he had a whole convention saying good morning to Vic and Vic. That was awesome into itself, and that started the whole trend moving forward with stuff. I
was in the registration line when Vic and Nick came through the door.
Yeah.
And the thing is Ron actually used one of my pictures and sent it to Nick in his DMs. Because I took a picture from the line when Nick and Vic came in.
That's awesome.
Do me a small favor. You know my personal DM on Twitter there. Could you possibly send me that photo if you don't mind there, my friend?
Sure, I can send that to you.
So tell the viewing audience out there exactly what you felt when that happened. Let's give us a
I was super excited, and it was great to actually see them just like enter the room, because a lot of conventions like Fan Expo and stuff, all the guests and stuff kind of come in the back door and then kind of go to their tables.
Yeah, they go to the station pod and wait for the fans to line up around their actual table, like prize cattle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, come on. We all wanted to watch Vic walking in those glorious pants of his.
I was hoping Nick was going to be in shorts, but it's cold.
it was a little too cold.
His grandpa shorts.
Yeah, maybe if he comes back next year, he can wear his dad shorts.
Hey, I think we're aiming for it to be in May, so it should be a bit warmer.
Yeah, hopefully a lot warmer than what it was.
Well, it all depends on the pollution, I suppose, because more pollution equals warmer weather. Correct, everybody?
According to Greta Thunberg.
Sorry, what's that there?
I said according to Greta Thunberg.
This is true.
Didn't she get on like a CNN panel about like something or other? I don't remember what the heck it was, but she was like,
it was like a COVID-19 panel or something.
It was.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
How dare you get that right?
That's fucking shit in my head. I'm like, all right, let's talk to this like, I don't know, teenager about COVID-19 because she knows exactly nothing about the subject.
Exactly. At the tender age of being a teenager. Goodness gracious. Wow. Just silliness. Oh, goodness. So, anyways, yeah. So, again, Kitchener Comic-Con. I could officially say this to this date, the best comic book convention in Southern Ontario, possibly in Canada.
It's been the best one of the year so far.
Considering that's the only one I've been to this year.
Shh, we don't say that. We just say it's just the best.
You might want to double check that, Kersey.
I like to say it's better than Toronto Comic Con.
What am I incorrect there, gals?
I think Australia's had one of their cons this year already as well. I think.
Okay, maybe we should include the best in Canada, perhaps.
Best in North America, maybe.
Our cons are pretty good, but we really need to get this back.
I agree.
If you don't mind me asking there, Girth, what was the last convention that good old Vic?
I think he was last in Sydney. The last Sydney Comic-Con.
Gotcha.
Well, a couple of years back, but
were you there personally, or just basically with the stuff?
No. I'm in Queensland, so I'd go to the Queensland one if I was going to go to any.
Okay.
But it's a bit difficult sometimes to get there. But anyway,
totally understandable. Well, one of the
I'm going to have to drop out of the stream quickly.
Okay.
So I can deal with the work stuff, and then I'll jump back in once I've set everything up.
Right. You know what? Absolutely fantastic having you on the broadcast. Wonderful to have you. Again, if you could dial on when you can, I think we might be here. So
check out the Patreon, check out the perks, and see if that works for you.
Yeah. All right. No problem. I'll call you back in a few minutes.
All right. Cheers.
All right, bye.
All righty.
So it's just the three of us now.
Yeah, if anybody else,
I have a story from Kitchener Comic Con about Nick.
Do it.
Do it.
So I went to get a picture of him and Vic signed.
Okay.
And he actually took my pen. He took my marker. I left it on his table. And the next day, I was waiting in line to get more stuff signed from Vic. and he actually went, "Hey, this is yours." I'm telling him, it's like, it doesn't matter that it's my pen. It's like 50 cents when I bought it. So I went to the dollar store to get like a silver and gold marker because I didn't know if Nick had anything to sign with.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, one of the few things I found kind of funny is that again, meeting Vic for the first time and stuff like that, he kind of looks at me and says, "I want to get this done." Maybe. Okay, there we go. He goes, "Hey, Ron, if it's okay, can you take my bag down to the event with you tomorrow?" I went, "Sure, Vic, not a problem. What do you got?" He goes, "Here you go," and he hands me this huge, giant, bulletproof metal.
Yeah, I saw that.
From A to B, and of course, this is right after my surgery, and of course, me being the good person I am, I kind of went, "Sure." Why not? Not a problem. And of course, this thing's like bulletproof. It's like he says, "Whatever you do, don't open it, okay?" It's like, sure. So I'm expecting Karen. What's that? Sorry.
Make sure that no one opens it at all.
That's right, Ron. Just don't open it, okay? It's like, sure, no problem.
I thought we were gonna have a gremlin problem.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, I'm bringing this stuff in my house, and you're looking at me going, "Hey, Ron, what
he has magical creatures in his bag, Ron."
Exactly.
Well, the funny thing is that when Crash was looking at me, we bring in this, this 10,000-pound bulletproof titanium bag of darkness. It's sort of like, "Oh, okay, Ron. Well, what's in it?" It's like, "I don't know, and I can't even open it." I promise not to. And of course, when I get to the event, it's all of Vic's CDs and stuff like that type of thing. I think it's totally fine. But it's like,
yeah, I heard he sold out of everything like really quick because I had to actually order his concert DVD from the website.
Yeah. No, that whole aspect of things is absolutely hilarious. It just adds more of the mythos of the fun that we had with Vic over the weekend. Because again, the thing is that when it comes down to it, it's like, I'm the chief executive officer of Comic-Con. And Vic goes, "Oh, here's my bag." I kind of go, "Okay."
Gippy's in the chat says, "Hey, Ron, met you at the dinner. Thanks again for the shirt."
What's that? Who's this?
Gippy. He's in the chat.
Oh, really? That's cool. Sorry, but I got again the problem with the eyeballs here. But yeah, you are honestly and sincerely quite welcome. Not a problem. It's great to meet you, especially at Nick's roast, for goodness sakes.
Mm-hmm.
And good to have you there. It's good to finally put a face to the name, if you know what I mean.
The fail roast, but it was still, we tried.
Well, no, it's not fail. The thing is that we did it. It was there. So I think we're going to work on it, develop on it.
I mean, it was a better roast. It was a better roast than Amanda Winley put together. So
I was going to say, if Nick wants to come back,
Nick Arcata Part 2 roast.
Exactly.
The actual
Part 2, the better part.
Exactly. I like it.
You got it there, bud. You got it there.
Make it so number one.
Just do it. Well, you know what? It'd be awesome to have Nick back because again, he was fun to hang out with. And the fun thing is that just to read that individual's body language when he's at our event, especially was being roasted, he's like, his arms were crossed. He's like, It was absolutely hilarious. Plus, on top of that, Crumb took a very strategic perspective and seeing things from a different angle. Meanwhile, I was hanging out with our good buddy Dell, and we're sitting back here being loud and retarded. But one of the few things we definitely got, which I thought was kind of cool, is over at the Angry Joe's place, is that we got the fish
Krabby
tank.
Joe's.
Krabby Joe's, thank you.
Yeah, Krabby Joe's.
Angry Joe's. Good God. It's the beer. Sorry, fellas. I apologize. But however, the thing is at Krabby Joe's, we got the fish tank and hopefully be more quiet when it came down to our bunctious.
All you succeeded in doing was pissing off the kitchen staff.
This is true. But however, you definitely got enough money coming into the front doors because that place was fucking packed.
Well, everybody went there. Like literally everybody.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that doing events like this is all part of the fun and things like that. But long story short, it was funny seeing Nick there getting roasted and stuff like that. And it'd be kind of funny if we could get actual both again, Nick for next year, maybe bring up Draxel perhaps.
I mean, I'm sure if we had enough notice, Drexel would come.
I think it'd be
Yeah,
absolutely
he probably would if there was enough notice.
And like he would be really good to roast Nick because he's
oh yeah.
Nick versus Drexel roast.
Fight.
Featuring Battletoads afterwards.
Dude, that'd be absolutely hilarious. So, if you mind me asking, since you were in the sea of people at this year's Kitchener Comic Con, what were your takeaway moments? Humbly asking.
My takeaway moments were like the Vic panel, especially with everybody screaming, stand with Vic. I loved the Nick panel before that because I was at Nick's panel and then I just stayed sitting until the Vic panel. So pretty much sitting for 2 hours.
Just a sidetrack.
Day one.
This is kind of funny. Something that Crumb told me later on. Did you know that we could not accept any more people into Vic's panel? And the funny thing is that when my dad, nicknamed Ron's dad, showed up, he couldn't get in because the funny thing is that it was all full of VIPs. I think
and there was like there was people standing everywhere. We had to move the chairs up, and
it took hours to get the room up. It was like, push it all away. Vic's here.
Cram those people into that box.
Sardines. We must put more sardines in the can. Here we go.
Exactly.
But I even loved the pinball machines that were upstairs. They were all differently organized and
not to be too much of a shell master here, but the thing is that was brought by our good colleagues over at Pinup Arcade. And the thing is, it was great to have them there for the 3rd, 4th year running there, Crumb?
It's been a number of years. I think it was a year 4.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that, again, absolutely fun because this is one picture that I've really, really loved. When you see the Stormtrooper playing the video game, the pinball game of Star Wars, and it keeps missing.
Balls go down.
Exactly. These are all upset because he's like hunched over and stuff like that. It's like game over.
Well, the other highlights was actually like I went and saw Vic twice, so once each day.
That's cool.
I bought the Broly pop figure and the Edward Elric figure as soon as I went in.
Did you really?
Immediately got those signed.
And
then
awesome.
My fiance already had a Tamaki pop figure, so we got that signed as well.
That's cool.
Then I got something for my friend and his fiance because they were letting us stay at their house for the 2 days. So I got them a picture signed. And I also got a Broly wall scroll signed as well. So
very nice.
Did you take advantage of your VIP pass and get one thing signed for free at least?
Yes.
That's awesome. If you want me asking, what did you get signed?
Probably, I think it was the Broly pop figure that I got signed. That was free. And then just, I think I spent like $200 to $300 at the con.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good. Thank you.
You got you got a lot for that $200 though, right? Like a little bit.
Yeah, more. I didn't just get signatures. Like I think I bought 2 video games from the Game Exchange or that place that was upstairs that was by the pinball machines.
Yeah,
you got
I bought like two Super Nintendo games that I thought were going to be like $100 or something, and I got 2 for like $25.
Wow, that's really good.
One of them was like Goof Troop, the Goof Troop game, and it was like I thought that was going to be like hundreds of dollars because a lot of people, with the rarity of games going up, the price goes up.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep, you got it. You got it all in one. And the thing is that walking in today's digital time, I think finding and getting physical copies of games is going to get harder and harder.
That's true.
Again, a lot of people are saying, "Hey, you know what? Why go to fucking GameStop and get ripped off when I can actually, download the fucking thing right on my computer type of thing? And it's like,
Oh.
you know what? I can't argue. I honestly can't argue with that, especially when paying top end dollar, especially when our friend down from Australia, that spends over $170.
Well, speaking of, he just changed his name, but he's back. The Girth Walker.
Girth Walker! Woo!
Sorry, had to do that.
Love it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm here for a couple of seconds, but however, I will return momentarily and throw me up the floor, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be right back.
So yeah, with the cost of like older video games going up, that's like the Tales of series games. Like
Oh yeah.
the PlayStation 1 version of Tales of that I've been like, there's two, like a part 1 and a part 2, and it's like over $100 for like each part now.
Oh yeah, like it's crazy. And there's been rumblings that Nintendo's going to be bringing back physical games, like physical cartridges.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
I know, like right now they have little tiny cartridges for the Switch, but apparently there's talk that they're going to be bringing back like the old school big cartridges. So that'd be
Wow, could you imagine how much data they could now store on those things?
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
Go back to 62 in one
games.
games.
To practicing. Chris, you'll have fun blowing on those things again.
Oh my goodness! Look, back in the day, I still have my Nintendo. Like, well, I have a Nintendo. It's not my original one, but like I have a Retron as well, so I can play like all the old games. I have a Sega Genesis and N64, so
I still have an original Nintendo.
Lots of stuff to blow on still.
Yeah.
Gotta take my cheap shots where I can get them.
That's true. That's true. Oh my goodness.
No, better not cross the road. I might get hit.
Okay. So yeah, like, I guess it's not. Who is it a holiday for right now? Holiday for us Canadians.
Yeah, it's not for us.
No way. Was it yesterday or was it? It's not at all.
The last holiday we had was the long weekend for Anzac Day.
Okay. What's interesting? I always thought it was the colonial holidays. Like I thought it was like right across the Commonwealth. But I guess not.
No. Anzac Day is Australia and New Zealand only.
Oh, okay.
It's to do because of all the stuff with the Anzacs and the war and all that. The Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. So,
okay.
Yeah, we tend to celebrate our vets, same as you guys do for Independence Day and all that kind of stuff. So, this is our version of it.
Oh. All right. Well, Mr. Hop, I'm going to give you the floor. I'm just going to hit the bathroom real quick.
I just came from.
Oh yeah, hit it hard, Chrissy.
Excellent. So, good friends of mine. What we were talking about before, I said of my own a very small Canadian planet of happiness. What were they missing?
Yeah.
Be shy.
Well, we were talking about how retro video games are really expensive, and how the Tales of games, the part 1 and part 2 for PS1 is like over $100 per disc.
Kidding me? Oh
yeah.
My gracious.
Like maybe 5 years ago, I saw it at a con for maybe 85, but now it's like over 100 on like eBay.
Even the original Final Fantasy's fairly expensive too.
Oh, craziness. The thing is that, as you guys may or may not know, I'm an actual game master. And one of the few things I've mastered was a zine called Vampire the Masquerade from White Wolf Publishing. And the thing is that I've never been really big into the whole video game scene, just because I really believe in the physical interaction between individuals and stuff like that, real time and, mathematics and social thinking and stuff like that. So forth, so forth. But long story short, it's kind of funny. PlayStation 1 game collection. And this is just shit I bought. It was really cheap to buy. And now I'm finding out these games I used to have or have somewhere in boxes and storage in someone's house. You know what I mean? It's like over $100. That's been mind-boggling because prior to being a game master, I used to be an avid comic book collector. Because basically back then, it used to be, hey, buy this #1 comic book. Years, you too could actually put it down mortgage in the house type of thing and stuff like that. So at my parents' place, I literally have like a walk-in closet filled from floor to ceiling and from side to side with white boxes of nothing but comic book stuff. So when I hear about physical stuff being worth hundreds of dollars, that's absolutely amazing. So, and who in the fuck is crumbling so much?
Sorry, my fault. I went and got a chicken schnitzel for breakfast.
Oh, goodness gracious. Definitely not a problem.
Breaking into the chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, that's really yummy.
Well,
Sounds
considering it's 9 o'clock here, and I haven't eaten since working all last night, so I'm
No,
kind of hungry.
I was like, seriously, it comes with a cake hole in my mouth, for goodness sakes. Crumb those.
So yeah, what were we talking about? Blowing things. Absolutely, Booster 114. That definitely worry.
We're all over the place. Basically, we're talking about how much video game content going up in price. Good God! Because they only got the window on. Stop!
I just have to mute you for a moment, Girth. Sorry about that. We'll get you back here in a moment.
Girth, you're awesome, and you know that. But however, we're talking between me and Blaze here about how much video game content's got up in price in the last while. Because I was mentioning about you, Crumb. You know about my stupid PlayStation 1 video game collection, and the thing is, so like, I bought this for next to nothing back in the day, and now I'm finding out that some of the games I may have may be worth hundreds of dollars. It's like, who knew that would happen? If you know what I mean.
Well, it's one of those things, and a lot of it comes down to quality of the game and rarity of the game, right? Because like, doesn't matter about the game itself, because like some games like Final Fantasy VII, obviously classics, that you're gonna obviously be super popular because they were really, really good games. Yeah. Not necessarily because the graphics were amazing or anything like that, but you have things like Rule of Rose, which is not a great game by any means. It was,
didn't we? Yeah.
Rule of Rose.
They only made a certain amount of copies or something like that.
Yeah, it was a very, very limited amount of print. That it was never released in the UK because it was restricted in the UK, and so it was very, very rare. Even though it wasn't a very good game, it's super expensive. And like a similar thing with the Manhunt as well. I don't know if Manhunt's that expensive, but
yeah.
It ran into the same sort of issue where it was banned in a bunch of countries. Yeah. So I don't know how scarce that one is, but I know some things like Valkyrie Profile, for example. Like, I love that game. It's an amazing game. It's a very, 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 very good game. And it's if you want to get the original copy on PlayStation 1, you're looking at about like $200-$300.
Really? Wow. All right.
Yeah.
And
that was because it was a cult classic. It was a game that was released and no one really picked it up until many years later, and then it was already scarce.
Yeah. So we're not forgetting too much here. How's Earth? Is his microphone fixed by chance?
Not yet. Not yet. Sorry.
We'll meet you again. I'll bring you back in a few minutes.
I'll show when I'm ready.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I still prefer physical over digital, unless like digital is the only option to get the game. Like some games are only digital now.
Yeah, well, 100%. Because one of the few things that I apologize if I sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but one of the few things we talked about in the Weekly Trending Phantom Show, as well as this one broadcast here, like how important physical content really is. And the thing is that, again, as Crumb mentioned in our conversations with me, it's like, you go out, You spend your top end dollar over like $100+ getting a flipping video game. You line up around the block at the GameStop, and you finally get up the front desk, and you kind of go, "Please, sir, can I have my video game now?" And they kind of go, "No, I'm sorry, little peon. We don't have your game here. Ha ha ha. Can I have my money back then?" "No, of course not. You get nothing for your time. Absolutely nothing." Now, if this was me,
Oh no, we cannot find your copy. We sold it to someone else. Oops.
Exactly. Oopsie. If this was me, Crest knows this. I'll be in the 6 o'clock news, for God's sakes, beating the crap out of the person behind the desk, burning the place down to the ground, for God's sakes. But of course, that's me being a little hypersensitive towards the situation in hand. But man, I would be pissed. And the thing is that I'm quite surprised the gaming community took this as long as they did, because one of the few things I've always preached on the Weekly Turning Fandom show, and especially on this broadcast as well, is always support your local independent retailers. But if they're gonna fuck you like that, goodness gracious in a handbasket.
There's a difference between GameStop and like your mom and pop shop.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's not an independent retailer.
Yeah,
and, I mean, if GameStop did that to me, I'd literally turn into Broken Matt Hardy on the front. You sold the last copy to Brother Nero.
You knew I would come.
It is time to go back to where it all began.
Vanguard 1, record this for posterity's sake. Yes.
I will now fight you in this steel cage of death.
Scribe, write down these moments for history itself. As everyone knows how we got to this moment in time. As Chris just goes, "Fuck you." You all die on this fine, wonderful day. Oh my God.
Final deletion.
It is quite delightful. Oh my goodness.
I think the last time I went to a store since COVID-19 started was to get Animal Crossing.
How was that? And where'd you pick it up, if I'm asking?
I picked it up at EB Games because we don't have a lot of like local game stores that actually pre-order anything, or
no.
Most of the places we have around here are like used game. We have like a couple used game stores, but that's about it.
Gotcha. Without doxing you, because I don't want to do that, because heaven forbids you want like thousands and thousands of the recipient fans, and of course the hundreds and millions of the Canuckle fans around the world watching our fantastic broadcast.
In contrary to popular belief, like we don't dox people on here.
So, if you want me asking, what region do you live in? If you want me asking,
Southern Ontario.
That's not a region. That's half of a province.
That is a region.
No. Do you know what region you live in there?
The Niagara region.
Niagara region? That's perfect. That's totally understandable. No problem. So basically, in the Niagara region, do they have a lot of secondhand game shops, or what? Because again, from my perspective, that's more of an actual tourist attraction than anything else. So
we used to have 2 game stores. One went out of business because they mismanaged their money.
Odd.
They had the store was like pretty much across the street from where I live, and then they moved it and made a gamer cafe / gaming store.
Oh, okay.
But the gaming store part was in this little teeny room, like it was almost like a closet, and you could have like 3 people in there to even look at the games.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they went, "Oh, well, we have enough money, so we'll just move it out of the actual food place and put it in its own shop beside the food place." And then went, "Oh man, we're out of money." So
I wonder why.
But then we have 2 other stores. There's one actually in town, and then there's one that's just outside of town. Okay. And they have used games, but some of the prices are like, yeah, I want to spend $70 on Mario for GameCube.
Wow. Crazy. I'm assuming that's toys again. What is this?
Toys. The Action Toys channel says Blaze lives around 20 to 30 minutes from the JK. Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah, because it's about, for me, it's about, what was it, like an hour? I think it's like an hour and 30-minute drive to Kitchener from where I am.
Yeah, everything is in all sincerity, regardless.
I mean, we're in Canada. Everything's a couple blocks away anyway. So.
Yeah, like Nick says, we can just stroll down the beach and we're there.
Remember, in Canada, a few blocks is different because of the conversion.
Exactly, that was so funny.
According to Nick, you can just take a rock and slip it across the lake, and that's how long it takes to get to the next place in Canada.
It's true.
We got it.
No, it was funny because like, there's a little funny side story. So when we went for dinner with Vic, Nick, and Lady Rackets, we stopped off at their hotel and I made suggestions like oh, let's go for sushi. They're like, oh, that's a great idea. And we're like, well, let's just take a walk down. It's just a couple of blocks down the street.
It's not that far away. The road will get you and the else.
Like, don't worry about wasting money on a cab. We'll go. It's just a couple of blocks down the street. And so we're walking and like we're just having a chat. And we're gonna bring Girth Walker back. So yeah, we were having a little chat, just walking, and then like, and then Nick turns and he's like, "How the hell? Like, where the hell is this place? How long is?" He's like, "How long is a couple blocks to you?" I'm like, "Well, it's conversion rate.
It's only a few doors down."
That was.
It's as far as Nick thinks that Canada is closest to each town.
Right?
So the big joke was like, it's like I don't think you understand how far a block is.
Doing the conversion rate between Canada and US, it's a few blocks for us Canadians or a few doors down, if you know what I mean, eh? In all actuality, it wasn't really that far because one of the few things that Crumb and I have the wonderful experience of knowing is that we used to live in Toronto or Toronto, if you know what I mean.
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto. And the funny thing is, when you're living downtown Toronto, everything is just a few blocks away, for goodness sake. Like everything.
Oh my god, I can't imagine like what a few blocks is like in Australia.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. So
it's not that bad.
How's the conversion rate between Canadian to US to Australia?
We're kilometers as well, so we're the same as you guys.
Awesome.
So we're a couple of blocks is about the same then.
Yeah. We could take a cab, but you know what? It'd be better off if we just take a quick walk.
Just a couple of blocks.
Exactly. No big deal.
Yeah, you think Nick with his bloody long legs would not care about the distance, would you?
Man, that Nick is tall, man. Like meeting him at the con, it's like, hey, look, a mountain. at least according to how tall I am, I'm only 5'6". So.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny for me meeting Nick for the first time because I'm a bit of a fanboy when it comes down to Nick. And the thing is that meeting Nick for the first time, it's sort of like you only see him from the actual waist up type of thing. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm used to this figure. Not a problem. I've been watching this fucking guy for the last 3 hours almost every day, and I'm used to this. When you see the whole thing, it's like, my God, he's tall. Wow. He's like 6'3", for goodness sakes. And it's like, you're not
meeting Nick, I couldn't even get my words out to say hi.
Yeah, right?
So it's like
like who's taller, Nick or Vic?
Oh, Nick is like twice the size of Vic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like whenever I've seen photos of Vic, he looks pretty tall, and I'm like, okay, he must be hitting 6 foot, but damn.
You know the whole joke about the Fullmetal Alchemist, where people kind of go up to Elric and he says, "You're really small." He goes, "I'm not small. I'm not." He flips off. Kind of the same, but only on a smaller level.
Who are you calling a pipsqueak, son of a bitch?
Yeah, that would be it. But
when he lacks in size, he makes up for in personality. So it works.
And stature as well.
And hot pants.
And hot pants.
Yes. Dad shorts, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Like no, like I was surprised at how tall Nick was. I mean, like I knew he kept saying he was tall and all that stuff, and so I was expecting him to be tall. But
Exactly.
Well, you can't really tell by like his live streams how tall he is, even if he gets up. It's like,
Oh, he's sitting down in coon chair for goodness sakes. So it's so
Yeah, and
can't-
especially when Drexel's there as well. Like Drexel would be roughly the same height, and it's like, holy hell, because they look fairly similar in height, you'd think they're about our height, and it's like, yeah. And then you see Lady Rackets sit between them. It's like, careful you don't step on her, boys.
like seriously, like
Yeah.
actually meeting her in real life, like she is so small.
yeah.
yeah, I saw her at Nick's table, and I got a picture with her and Nick, and then I also got a picture with Vic as well. So
yeah, Lady Rockets is such a sweetheart. She's amazing.
they were trying poutine, and Nick is like, "Oh, I'll try these." Some guy gave him like 3 different poutines or something. There was like chicken poutine, and then there was like spicy poutine, and there was regular. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll just take the regular poutine."
Forgive my ignorance. What is poutine?
Wait a second. I'll answer that in 2 seconds. But one of the few things I want to jump in really, really quickly, because one of the few things that Nick me too, because he's was that he had these what were they? Deep fried bacon fat, and it was
wasn't it deep fried bacon chips or something like that?
yeah, the most addictive things on the fucking planet. Because like I was, hey Ron, how you doing? Not too bad. Have you ever heard of these things? I kind of went, no, let me try one. Oh, I'm going, oh my god, these things are awesome. No. I was like, oh my god.
I was in front of the guy who actually gave Nick that at the panel.
Oh
Because
god.
I gave Nick a plaque with his face on it, with him doing the double thumbs up, like smirky face. And I also made that out of beads and put it in a frame and gave it to him. So when you look at one of Nick's live streams, he actually showed it to everybody.
That's awesome.
I don't know if he drank the whiskey I gave him though. He never answered that question.
It's all good. Probably did. Probably didn't maybe get the whiskey fairy. Who knows?
He
As long
might
as
have
it wasn't
drank
that
it. He might have
military
drank
whiskey.
What's that?
As long as it's not that military whiskey or the Wayne Gretzky whiskey that he was given.
No, it was like barrel select whiskey I gave him.
Yeah, and remember, Nick brought the 99 Wayne Gretzky whiskey at the actual duty free shop to bring back home to his North American.
And he served that to himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he went through some dirty hell with that one.
Oh, goodness gracious. It was filtered through Wayne Gretzky's shop. Who knew? I'm totally kidding, by the way. Totally kidding. However, the funny is, just get back to poutine. Their blaze. Just imagine if they made a poutine out of that bacon stuff. I could see Canadians kind of going, this is so good, and just falling to pieces of pure heart attacks. Like, my goodness gracious, that stuff was good. Oh, and to answer
So poutine is French fries with gravy on top, and then it's got cheese curds mixed in with the fries.
yeah, basically that they're good. And
Okay, we basically call them loaded fries.
quick
Oh,
question.
very cool.
In Australia, not to sound like a complete artard here, but do you have cheese curds in Australia?
We probably do, but it's not something I really eat. So
Okay, and the funny thing is, when I was younger, I didn't eat cheese curds either. But however, if you ever have the opportunity, grab some French fries, deep fry them. Do not oven fry them. Deep fry them. Add cheese curds specifically, not cheese, because it's a different touch between the two. And put hot gravy, wherever that may be. Allowed to be chicken gravy, beef gravy, or pork gravy, whatever the case may be. Add it on, and you got
pepper gravy, dude. Pepper gravy.
And
I
there's
like my chili.
so many different gravies now, or so many different poutine varieties now. Chicken poutine, bacon poutine.
yeah, and you throw the
shredded beef and stuff like that.
The poutineries are like my favorite places. Like it's so good. We have Smokes Poutinery in Waterloo, and oh my!
We have one of those too as well.
Ooh, man, they have literally everything. It's so delicious. Like
Her menu is huge.
It is.
And at the time, like, God, you ate that stuff day in and day out, going, oh, I'm eating healthy. Not a problem, because I'm eating a salad on the side. It's totally
The
fine.
chicken bacon ranch poutine and the poutine,
God.
the pierogi poutine.
Oh, stop. It is so yummy. Oh, my goodness.
Delicious stuff.
I definitely want to try those deep fried bacon chips. They sound really good.
They
Like, is it actual bacon or?
Well, the funny is that it's I would almost call it Canadian bacon, because the thing is that it wasn't exactly regular bacon, like it was chunks of pork with the fat still attached to it, and that was deep fried, battered and deep fried, and added with a bit of sugar and salt on it. Like, oh my fuck, it was awesome. Never had it.
I'm gonna have to go look up that recipe and see if I can recreate it.
Yeah,
It sounds like it's something you get at the CNE.
honestly, and then
Which got canceled this year.
Womp womp.
And who knows if Fan Expo will go.
oh.
That's a spicy conversation.
Well, considering like around my region, there's also Niagara Falls Comic Con too,
Yeah.
and that's like about a week after Fan Expo because they moved the date. So like a week after that, they want to do Niagara Falls Comic Con. I'm like, that's a little bit close to each other.
You're gonna have a rapid fire of conventions. You have Hamilton Comic Con, you have Niagara Falls Comic Con, Fan Expo. You got a bunch of the big ones, just right back up to each other.
And the funny thing is that again, everyone probably knows both Hamilton and Niagara Falls are run by the same group of people. So it looks like they're really trying to mark that off their actual checklist, if you know what I mean, off their books type of thing. Because again, it's like, again, if Fan Expo Toronto happens, it's going to be very interesting how the general, how the actual convention community is going to be moving forward from that point. Because again, a lot of people didn't pay rent. There isn't a lot of actual spendable income floating around. So it's going to be extremely interesting how other major convention.
Well, that's like me. I just went back to work last week after being laid off for a month because curbside. We only had curbside service at the business, so they didn't need the whole amount of staff.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Did you apply for the Ontario federal credit by chance?
I did during the second round because the first round I made too much money. So the second one I did, and then just the week of pretty much it ending is when I got hired back to start work.
That's good.
Oh, geez. Well, there you go.
At least you're back at work, dude. I've worked all the way through it because my job is technically essential.
Well, so was mine. Mine's a hardware store, but the way it went, they didn't need as many people because they only needed really people to answer phones and then get stuff ready for the customers and give it to them at the door.
That's true. Curbside pickup stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I deliver newspapers for a living, so
Yeah.
the news never stops, unfortunately.
That's true. Like I work in retail, and I wanted to work the whole time, but I've been isolating because of symptoms for COVID, and I just got that test back that I'm negative. I'm clear of COVID, so I'm.
And nobody wants one of those things up their nose either.
Oh no!
Asking
What?
What asking here?
Oh, Action Toys saying
Shrimp poutine.
pizza poutine, poutine pie, poutine till you die. All you can eat poutine.
What exactly do they show up your nose for the test? I thankfully haven't had to have the test on.
It's basically a Q-tip. Like it's like
It's
a
been a super long one.
cotton swab. They just like jam it into your sinuses and then ring it around. It's really not a very pleasant experience.
I've had something worse done than that, so that to me would be pleasurable. they had to take a biopsy from the back of my nose and going in there with a giant set of forceps up your nose. Oh, now gagging on that thing. Ugh.
Whoa.
Well, my friends, when I was at my second round at the hospital visit, they kind of went through a different orifice to see if I had the beer virus or not. That was unpleasant. I almost thought I had to put money on the table on the way out, type of thing. It's like, oh my
Yeah, I've had things go up both my private areas. That's not a good feeling either.
Yeah, yeah. Catheters are the worst thing.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Total
I-
recall. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you got? Okay. I can give you 2 horror stories with that happened to me
Wait a second. Wait,
about a year and a half ago.
I could beat that less than 4 months ago, for God's sakes. I will put things very politely in the cost of our actual younger audience. I had 3 nurses and 1 doctor performing 1 cathera on yours truly because they couldn't get it the first 3 times around. How is that?
I don't know if that's something to brag about. But...
It is not.
Okay. I will beat you for that one.
Oh, you will.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Here you go. Okay, so I get kidney stones every so often.
Ooh,
The
shit.
very first time I ended up having it done, I ended up going to the Royal Brisbane Hospital in Queensland.
Okay.
And so anyway, go in there, go under, have the operation to get the stent and all that crap put in.
Yeah.
Now in recovery, I'm just starting to come around, and I know something's wrong because I've grown up having a ton of operations. I know how my body reacts coming out of anesthetic.
Fair.
And I'm like, there's something wrong here. And they're checking everything, doing all that. My temperature's spiking.
Ooh.
And because at this stage, I was the only one left down there. So I had about 20 anesthetic, like the aftercare people and all that running around.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm being stripped naked in front of everybody. They've pulled the sheets and all that up around the side of the bed, dumped ice around me. I've had 2 of them grab the catheter and grab my junk and, ripping this thing out while I'm awake. The catheter, ripping it out and trying to shove it back in, screaming down the phone for the doctor to get back down there to help fix it up. They went through about 5 catheters to try and get it done before the doctor come down and say, grab, yank, done, walked away. I was there for about a week, in the bed that's directly opposite the nurse's station because they were that worried about blood poisoning and all that. And then anyway, come to the end of the stay. I'm like, okay, finally I can go home. And anyway, so they'd come to take the catheter out, no problem. So I've had it done. It's painful as hell, as you know. So they're like, yep, cool. What happens? You have maybe a 60-year-old RN walks in, gruff as hell, and 2 19, 20-year-old, smoking hot, girls that are learning how to become RNs.
Uh-huh.
With no decorum whatsoever. She just rips everything out, grabs my junk, pulls it out, and because, as you know, what happens when they pull all that crap out, you have involuntary expulsion of certain liquids.
Uh-huh.
I did that all over myself in front of 2 hot smoking nurses. Hey, it was embarrassing as hell.
Ouch.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad had a similar surgery too.
One second.
Except for the doctors forgot to give him pain medication.
Oh.
And then when they went and took the stent out, he passed out for 10 seconds because of the pain of having to pull it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, my good sir, you win. It was nothing like that. It was more like a self-conscious experience type of thing. When you have 33 nurses, like, oh, Mr. Hot, please relax. Going, you're putting something in the wrong area. What? Like, that was it. I wasn't packed in ice. I didn't have 20 people around me. Nothing like that whatsoever. And my good sir,
I'm just like you. I can laugh about it now. At the time, I was mortified. I will say that outright. But yeah, you got to laugh at it. Really, otherwise it's just going to drive you insane. But
and that's kind of one of the
it's one of those stories, that is classic in its own right now.
That's so true.
And
crap.
on the Canucklehead show, we'll talk change war stories about cockroach for God's sakes.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely hilarious on every level. And the thing is that when it comes down to Blaze here, I'm really sorry that happened to your dad. That really sucks.
Well, I'm gonna take this painful moment to shill a little bit more. Why not? Perfect time to.
Exactly. So if I sound negative,
perfect time to jam
After the horror stories, it's time to chill.
Time to shill. Time to jam into people's
do you
pride.
have things going in and out of certain orifices? Well, hey, here at the Knucklehead broadcast, we do have t-shirts.
Time to jam in people's privates. Here we go.
Usually getting a Kothra.
So for the people out there that are watching at home and enjoying it, we actually do have some official Canuckleheads merchandise now. Beautiful design. Ba-ba-da. This all over design shirt. So you can actually change the collar on this too. I forgot to do it on the other ones. Like you can change the collar color, which is really cool. I personally like the red one.
Yeah, you know what? Another jump on the bandwagon. I do also enjoy the red color as well. So
Really
because it really adds a certain je ne sais quoi to the actual design.
For our American friends, these shirts are actually printed in the USA because this is Teespring. So prices are in US, $25 US per t-shirt, any size, 35 Canadian. So it works out nicely. We also have.
And it's about 70 Australian.
Yeah,
but Canadian as well.
Give or take. We have this beautiful design on a fleece blanket as well with the Canuckleheads design on the bottom logo and stickers. So check out our the link is below. So you can check out the link below to check out our page here and support us, and check out our Patreon as well. It gives some pretty cool stuff in there to check out. So,
as I like to say, don't be a cheap hoser, eh? Buy some merch, yo.
So basically, if you're a fan of the show, if you're a fan of great Canadians like the two of us, well, I guess three of us on here, including Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze.
Well, Canadians are basically modified Australians, really.
Exactly. Mr. 114 says, "I'm laughing while trying to paint a miniature, not going well." F in the chat for Booster.
We apologize for a very funny interaction of giggleness here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
toss a
Brewster.
coin to your hoser. Toss a coin to your hoser.
That's right, eh? Don't be cheap. Wooden nickels completely accepted. If PayPal accepts them, there you go.
There you go.
Hey, if PayPal accepts dollar dues, they'll accept anything.
That's awesome.
Delivery due still gets me every time. Like, oh my god.
Oh, goodness gracious. So outside of Cathara's, goodness friggin' gracious. Yeah. So anyways, let's get back to some more KCC moments here, if you don't mind. So again with you, Blaze, what are the points that you enjoy with this year's event overall? And how would you, as a matter of fact, allow me to be so humble and ask the forward question, how would you compare this to other events that you've been to throughout?
Actually, the Kitchener Comic-Con has actually been to this day the best convention I've ever been to. Even like fan expos, like busy, crowded, people elbow me. There was somebody who was in a wheelchair, and there was somebody pushing them, and the person who was pushing them wanted to beat other people up for not moving because there was a wheelchair coming through, and it was like, can you guys just calm down? It's a convention. We're supposed to be having fun, not trying to murder each other.
It's Death Race wheelchair style over at the Fan Expo Toronto.
I wonder if you like attack someone who's in a wheelchair, is that considered assault with a deadly weapon?
Probably, because people were like smashing each other with their baby buggies. They would have the baby in the arm, but they would be pushing the stroller and hitting people with the stroller, like, get out of my way.
Well, that should
It's
drive
like, what? What are you doing?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Do you know
That's bad.
of fun I could make a game around this, for goodness sakes?
Like the only issue I had with Kitchener Comic-Con was that the line wasn't as structured for like the the registration and the pre-registration, because I tried to go in the pre-registration line because nobody was moving. Nobody was going into the pre-registration line. And then I had some old lady go, "What are you doing? You're trying to butt in front of me." And I'm like, "No, nobody's moving. I'm trying to go in the line. Like, what are you doing? Stop yelling at me."
Yeah, full disclosure, we kind of had a bit of an incident the night before, so we were about 4 hours behind on everything. So we should have been. No, there's no shush. There's no shush. We were about 4 hours behind where we should have been, and so like that led to a lot of delays the next morning because we were kind of scrambling to get everything that we needed done, and yeah, unfortunately led to a little bit of an impromptu Band-Aid solution.
Well,
And
Chrissy,
thank God we had Band-Aids, for goodness sakes.
okay, why don't you guys implement something like what Comic-Con here in Australia did? For those that pre-purchase tickets, they got like those little plastic armband type things.
Yeah.
They got sent those out, so those that had pre-purchased could walk up to the entrance, flash the particular armband for because it usually runs over 3 days. You've got the different colors for the individual days, and then if you buy one for all 3 days, for example, that's another color yet again. So wouldn't that be better to implement something like that? So, for example, Blaze could just pre-order the bracelet in advance. That way, when you guys open up again, all he's got to do is walk up to a separate entrance you guys have set aside for pre-purchase tickets. Walk in, go, "Yep, see this? I've got the pre-purchase thinger," and do it that way. But make sure you put obviously KCC time and date on the bands when you pre-order them, so that way they can't be reused the next year or something like that, or have some other identifiable thing that changes. So people aren't just stealing old ones to go through.
Well, the funny thing is that with wonderful conversations like this is the best time when strategies like this really come to the forefront of things. And to be honest with you there, Girth, that is a really good idea. Again, one of the few things we have at KCC is we do run on a shoestring budget. So it's I wouldn't say it's kind of hard. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's not.
Well, it's something we're looking to improve for next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know Fan Expo does that, but then they charge like $20 to ship it to you, and it's like that's added onto a ticket. That's added onto a ticket that's already like 65, 70 to like whatever. Like even if you get VIP pass, you still have to pay that $20 extra for them to ship it to you, even though you're spending like $500 for a VIP ticket.
And one of the few things about yours truly here, especially with Crumb up there, basically when it really comes down to it, trying to make this economically feasible for everybody. Like as an example, for myself, it's really easy to go from both the artistic side and the business side of things. And one of the few things we always look at is that if we're spending $1 on anything and we're making $3 back, and that's our base cost of return of investment. So the thing is, if we start charging stuff like that, the cost for someone like Blaze here would be something along those lines, if not maybe a little bit cheaper. But however, in all honesty, it is a really good idea. But one of the few things we want to try to do, and since Crumb mentioned we're running 4 hours behind because of this guy, the thing is that again, these are just some of the things that happens within a fan ran convention. Because again, when you have a more corporate convention, you have lots of money coming in, and of course, you're spending a lot of money on staff and stuff like that, and things like that.
But for following years, we are looking at ways to try and get some sort of financial sponsor.
Yeah, and the thing is that trials and tribulations of running a fan-based event, especially something in the middle of Southern Ontario, for goodness sakes, is one of the few things that Blaze could probably actually contest to is that if you're doing a convention in Niagara Falls or doing a convention in Toronto and stuff like that, you have a lot of population floating around. Here in the region of Waterloo, not so much, and it's that's not.
Well, Hop, I've got a solution for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Just go back to hospital, get a catheter shoved in, and while you're there, run around and steal all their bloody armbands.
He's not wrong.
I need him more.
He's not wrong.
Hello, dear hospital. Yes, I'm here to get fixed. Where's your armbands at? Oh, they're over there in the box. Perfect, thank you.
Just grab one of the hospital carts and just be like, I'm going out the door. I'm gonna play Mario Kart. See you.
I can just grab it. Yeah, just 2021 done. Here you go.
But yeah, in regards to population, we have a huge population here in Kitchener-Waterloo. So it's not like we're tiny. It's not like we're some like backwater town. Like we have a ton of people in this region. We have a ton of people that are starving for something. But the fact of the matter is, it's like the population here. They are very like it take long. They take a long time to get your trust or to get their trust, basically. So we have to. They're not just going to go to an event because some big city person comes in here and drops an event down. Like they need to be shown that it's a respecting of the, like basically the city, everything else like that. It needs to be respectful of the identity of the region, because like we have a different identity than Toronto. We have a different identity than London and Niagara Falls and Hamilton, and like we have a damn good city. We have a damn good region that right here, region in Waterloo, and it's something to be proud of. So, like I like to think that the attendance at Kitchener Comic Con, it really shows that, because the people are seeing what we're doing. They obviously like what we're doing, and it's reciprocating that way. So we're trying to look at ways to like improve that experience without passing the cost on through the fans. And ways to do that, obviously, easiest way to do it is to get financial sponsorship from insert person here, some sort of beneficiary, or some sort of benefactor. So,
question: do you have like food stalls that come in and that? Like, why don't you get? Because I know we did that here with Domino's. When the conventions were going, we would get orders to go down there, and we would take hundreds of pizzas down there and sell them while we're at the con. Why don't you go to them and go, look, we'll set you guys up somewhere. You guys can bring all your pizzas in. You guys give us a bit of money to help run it, and do something like that. I'm sure you might be able to get a sponsor that way.
Something like that is most definitely in the cards. For us, it's the financial aspect of acquiring a food license for our event, because one of the few things we got going on here is that we are at Kitchener City Hall, attentively for the immediate now to expand forward, but we're like in a separate venue, allowed to be at a convention center, the case may be, most definitely no problem. But of course, it all really comes back down to what does the convention center have lined up contract-wise with the vendors that are there all year round. So that's always the other time.
Yeah, well,
don't get me started with pizza and conventions.
Yeah, things that also works as well, because one of the few things we wanted to have this year was a galaxy full of food trucks showing up. But for us to do that, that'd be a food license, and that gets
we have to go through the approved list of food trucks that would be there, and then we'd have to get them to agree to come in.
Exactly, and it's really.
Why didn't you get Vic's taco truck?
Well, the thing is that here in the region we have this one taco truck that has Rey Mysterio on the side, and it's really, really cool to have. But at the same time, here it all comes down to who's our volunteer base, who can we work with, because both Crest and myself, we're really literally running around trying to make sure all the proper, all the basic nuances are firmly in place. This is something the two of us could really do, and of course. But however, every single year we find more team members we could work with, and we could expand the actual the responsibility onto those people. But it's really tough to do, because if we don't have the right people in the right positions, it's sort of like, hey, how'd that food license come through? I don't know. So now the thing is that now we have a problem, because we actually accepted money from food truck people, and we don't have the right licensing in place, we have the right volunteers working with us. That gets kind of tough. That's sort of like behind the scenes of bureaucracy we go through every single year. So again, the thing is that these are things we're definitely and earnestly looking at. It's just it takes time. It really, really does.
Yeah, that, and obviously, the money you have to pay, like for the big names that you get in and all that kind of stuff and whatnot.
On top of that, one of the few things we ran this year was a superhero cafe, and one of the few things we definitely had to put in place was actually closed packaging of food, because again, that's a whole different handling process. You have to wear the gloves, have this in place, have the right licensing in place. Plus, on top of that, from a bureaucracy level, they have to bring in their particular people forward to make sure that everything's being handled properly. And on top of that, at Kitchen City Hall, you do have Williams Coffee Pub there, and they don't want money being taken away from there, and it gets super complicated very
Well,
quickly.
in Canada, the food laws are very, very finicky in terms of things, because like when you're selling food, so you can't really have a bake sale, because bake sales, unless you have all of the ingredients of everything listed, like that, then you can't sell it because
Yeah.
Australia's fairly strict as well. So I'm not sure how they managed to get away with selling pizzas at the convention, whether they had a deal with the convention itself or whether
they probably
the
had a
site itself
licensing
or whatnot.
deal.
But
Yeah. Again, the thing is that again, just to take a stab at things here, it all really comes down to the contract aspect, and it all becomes in terms and conditions within the actual vending license that they actually have as well. Plus, on top of that, it came from the more from the people who actually rent out the facilities. The thing is, they have to be careful with that, because again, the thing is that, let's just say hypothetically, they have a pizza vendor that's already built in the facilities. The thing is that they won't be able to sell the same product that they have, and if they did anyways, that might actually break their actual terms of service. But again, I don't know the full aspects of it, because one, I wasn't there. Two, I don't know the paperwork behind it all. And those are the two very crucial points from it all, if that makes any sense, of course.
Yeah, well, you have time to look into that and go, okay, who's allowed here, who's not. And the fact that you guys hosted such a successful fan convention, hopefully the next year when you start, as you start getting it out and word gets out, you're going to set it up again, more and more people will come on board and go, well, you guys slayed it. Why not do the thing? Like when Vic did that sign thing for that mum and pop store. Like, how freaking successful was that?
Yeah, and that's one of the few.
Even the pizza store there got business too.
They got
yeah. Because I'm pretty sure if the guy turned around and goes, "Hey Vic, you want to come back in 6 months or something like that," and he just mentions it to the pizza store or whatever, so they're more prepared this time around. The complaints that the few complaints that I did hear about the people being out the front blocking the doors and all that, they can be better prepared for all of that. They can put extra staff on to handle the influx of people coming in and all that kind of stuff. So it'd benefit a lot more by that kind of random stuff happening.
Like the funny thing is, again, with this year's Kitchener Comic-Con, which we've managed to succeed in every single year, is that prior to bringing commerce immediately to the Kitchener City Hall, we also bring in commerce to the different variety stores or a different variety shop in the downtown core. And the thing is, that speaks volumes to itself, because at the same time here, when you have people coming all the way again from Blaze's perspective, all the way from Niagara Falls, and you have people coming all over from the States, and they go to the mom and pop shops downtown Kitchener, that really says a lot. But however, the thing is by a year in, year out type like basis. So again, it's just finding the right people to work with, find the right bureaucracy channels to work with as well. And the thing is, again, this is not easy stuff. And the thing is, this fluctuates from year to year to year type of thing. But the bottom line is that we always manage to succeed. The same people we had the previous year, and actually go beyond that. Since we had Vic and Nick and the rest of our event as well, the thing is that, again, we surpassed that. And the thing is, again, these are all very good things to walk into to a 2021 atmosphere.
Bear with me, guys.
Yep.
No worries. Yeah.
I'm going to get you to go home in 34 because we'll start smoking on 20 minutes.
Want to get into the private conversation.
Don't get me started on Fan Expo pizza. Oh boy, like $15 a slice and a pop.
Shit. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
That's why I don't get con food from like Fan Expo. I stick food in my bag when I go in, and then they started doing this policy where it's like, no, you're not allowed to bring in food. You can have water, but no food.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like, but I'm hungry.
exactly. And on top of that, who has money to spend $15 on a pizza slice? It's been horribly cooked in their portable ovens. And I was like, let's see. Well, one of the few things is that I'm a culinary chef as artist as well. The thing is, been working in this industry since the age of 12, if not younger, for goodness sakes. And the thing is, when I go to a convention, I go, oh, look, you could buy yourself a Hawaiian slice for $15. It's like, what in the blue fuck is this? And one of the few things I never ever want to see any of my events initiatives be part of is to be part of that, because at the same time here, Fan Expo charges pizza an exclusive deal to be there. My personal opinion, I would like to have 3 to 4 different varieties of pizza trucks giving out the best different varieties of stuff, because one of the few things that makes an actual event or a festival such as this is just not the coolness of buying landfill stuff or artistic stuff and things like that. It's really the different types of food variety and stuff like that. One of the few reasons why I like working with, again, this is not a plug here, with Wilder Brewery here, is that they offer a very unique brand of beer at that particular point in time, and you can't get that anywhere else. And I think that what actually access access the actual event itself, because again, this is how Oktoberfest works in Germany, for goodness sakes. Because again, you can only buy that type of beer in that one town. Anywhere else on the fucking planet, for God's sakes. The thing is that, again, this is one of the few things we like to expand on when you come to Kitchener Comic Con. So the thing is that things are different, or you have that one unique thing every single year. So again, with Fan Expo, as it's great and wonderful, fantastic, and mobile branding and stuff like that, and we could do that too. The thing is that we're looking at to actually enhance a different convention experience or an event experience, if you will.
Well, we're trying to
I
bring
know
that
the one year at Niagara Falls Comic Con, they had a poutine. They had like a poutine place come in, and they had it actually in the con to make poutine.
Yeah, and again, that's at the Scotiabank Center as well, which unfortunately is a little bit different from Kitchener City Hall. But however, the thing is, at least the presence is there when we actually get a vending place itself, which is really, really cool.
Yeah. No, it's we try to. I mean, obviously, we are not going to have technology or access to things like the big companies are going to be able to, and that's just a fact of budget and a fact of reality. But we still try to bring wow factors to our conventions and our events, and I think we do a pretty good job of that. And so
experiences and stuff.
Part of that is money, part of that is ingenuity, part of that is creativity, and whatever else. And I think that we do a fairly good job of that overall. And I know we have a few things planned for next year. We're not going to tip our cap too much, but
well, my VIP hand is waiting. I'm ready to click a button that says bye.
Perfect.
You're absolutely fantastically delicious in every way.
Yeah.
So we do sincerely
like once the date is more locked down, I can look at like hotel rates and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because if I didn't get a drive to Kitchener, it's like a 4-hour trip, like by bus or train or something, because it doesn't go directly to Kitchener. It some routes direct, they go like all the way to Mississauga and then have to come backwards.
Exactly, or you have to catch the train or the bus in Toronto at Union there and catch it all the way to.
For like me, I'd have to take a go bus.
Yep.
To Hamilton.
Yep.
I'd have to take a go bus to like Hamilton, and then I'd have to take like Coach Canada or something from Hamilton to Kitchener.
Yeah,
and that's like about an hour and 45 minutes.
To help you out with that, the thing is, if you could catch the go to Mississauga, you could catch the I think it's the 21 go bus directly downtown Kitchener. And the thing is that, again, since we're very, very like this is the best part of being at City Hall. The thing is, we're literally a block away. I mean, a regular block, not conversion block, away from the GO station, which is downtown Toronto. I mean, downtown Kitchener, which is really, really cool. So again, not too bad overall, but you have to really know your actual different forms of transportation to get from A to B.
Well, I know my different forms of transportation to like Toronto, because like for me, I can take a train all the way there, but it's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
to get to Toronto, so it's a little longer to get to Kitchener, depending on how you. I can make you maybe take off like 30 minutes, depending on if I
Yeah.
know the direct route I want to take.
Yeah. See, well, one of the few things that we're very fortunate to have is that, again, we do have the Greyhound coming in. We do have the other out of town buses coming in. But the cool thing is, at least we got the Go buses coming in, which is pretty cool.
Well, the
Because-
problem with the Greyhound is that it's only at Sports World now. They cut it right back.
Did they really? Oh, those
Yeah.
bastards.
And I believe one of the buses, I'm not sure if it's Greyhound, but I was looking at it and it's like it only runs like 2 or 3 times a day to go to certain spots, and it's like
It goes to very specific areas, and that's it.
Well, as far as I know, in all honesty, they're my good friends. If you take the bus from Mississauga to Kitchener, there's a direct route with that, and that's not too bad overall. But if you can't make the connection, it kind of gets a little difficult. Like completely.
well, that's like in Hamilton to Toronto. There's like an express bus that goes from Hamilton to Toronto, and it only stops at like 2 stops in Hamilton, and it's right to Toronto.
Yeah, it's difficult to juggle. But one of the few things I could successfully say is that since I never had a car to get from A to B, I've always managed to take public transportation from A to B, and there's a way to get there. Sometimes they haggle from A to B is a little difficult, but that's kind of what happens from time to time. But at
That's
least,
why I was thinking like getting a hotel room for the next con, because then if it's going to take me all this time to get there, I actually want to spend time at the con and not spend just my time traveling to.
yeah.
Well, here's,
probably a good
here's an
idea.
idea.
What's
Why
that?
not? How many like hotels, motels, whatever are around where the con is?
We have a few. We have one that is like we have a hotel block at one of them, which is fairly close nearby. But there's quite a few hotels, like even in the region.
All you got to do is go and approach them and go, "Hey, we're holding the con again this year. I'm not sure how many people. Do you guys want to set up some sort of like discount type thing, and maybe even get them to show in as a sponsor too? And go, look, if you guys jump in and give them a discount, we will shield you guys and get everybody who wants to come and stay while at the con."
Well, I
Come
know
and
they
stay
had.
there,
You guys had a ticket for a hotel, which I noticed after I bought VIP, which was like in
Mhm.
December.
You see, the biggest thing is that with their girth is that in the downtown core of well, first off, in the region, there's several hotels to choose from. We're not quite as lucrative as in the downtown. The thing is, we do have some, which is really good. Based in downtown core, which is based in the central place where we want to be, is that you have the what is it? You have the Crown Plaza, and you have the Hooter Hotel, which is downtown Kitchener. And those are the 2 major hotels in that immediate area. And one of the few things about doing event planning is you gotta kind of start to build on that and basically build from that, because the only next major hotels from that is either all the way downtown or uptown Waterloo, or all the other way by Fairview, which is basically, if you're not having a car, it's about a half an hour or 45 minutes just to get to downtown core. So the big thing is that there is a major hotel we could work from. It all depends on how many people take overnight rooms. Like one of the few things we managed to do this year, which is very successful, in my most humble and honest opinion, is that we sold a hotel block not once but 3 different times, which is really, really good. So the thing is that we could use as a base, saying, "Hey, look, if we have these levels of guests coming in, and also we could guarantee these new hotel rooms, we might be able to get free or better um, room setup at the actual Crown Plaza, which is a few blocks away from the City Hall." So it's the whole adjective living sector floating base type of thing. But it all depends on who's getting involved, what type of guests we have, stuff like that. And the thing is, this takes literally years to build up. So yeah, if that makes any sense.
Hey, all it does is start with someone just sacking up and going up there and go, "This is the issue. This is what we want. How do we come to something that'll work for both of us?"
No, yeah,
And the earlier you get in and do it, the longer you have to iron out any potential problems. So, whether one of you two start doing it, because from what I heard from one of the cons that they cancelled, they were saying they were already starting to plan the next year's con basically like not even a month later after that con had finished.
Yep. And
Yeah, a lot of the bigger cons do that too, and there are people who go to like Anime North, and I hear about them. They're like, "Oh yeah, Anime North was great this year. Okay, I got my hotel booked for next year." I'm like, "What?" And it's already sold out. What?
Yep, exactly. And then that's what here at KCC that we're looking at as well. Like the thing is that again, it's how can I explain this? Stuff like Fan Expo, Kitchener Comic Con, the larger events in North America, there's a lot of nuances that, and again, not excuses, folks, not excuses, that are involved with those particular events. And the thing is that for us as a fan ran initiative, it's difficult to build up towards that. But however,
It's not impossible, though.
exactly however, what I am saying is that we are building up towards that. But as Crash said before, it takes time to establish our goodwill and who we are as an event group to get to that level. Because
And the more goodwill you have, the easier it is to have the community have your back, so that you can,
exactly,
prompt businesses to sponsor you, prompt businesses to come, and prompt hotels to work with you, because then they see your attendance going up every year and going, "Oh, look, we can make some profit from this."
and on top of that, everything honestly works into itself. Because the thing at the same time here, let's say we don't have Vic coming back next year, just hypothetically for our particular conversation at this point in time. The question is, what is the investment in Kitchener Comic Con? And the answer is that we have a floor split demographic, a four-way split in our demographic between this age group and this demographic and this and that and that and this. And the thing is that we only know this is because we've been running with this particular event initiative for the last 6 years. So we've been proving within the region. If we're a bunch of new guys coming up from nowhere, we have no experience to rely on. And that's very tough for the growth aspect. Plus, on top of that, a lot of people who work with us, regardless of what happens from year to year, is all based around good faith. And the thing is that that's difficult to establish, especially if our immediate environment changes, especially with the beer virus that's floating around. Who knows, in all honesty, what the FASIC convention will look like moving forward? Like if we invest all of our actual pennies into a certain guest, and that guest does not come up with a certain dividends that we need to succeed within the actual business requirements of what we broadcast to our business partners, they're going to be pissed. And when they're pissed, they're not going to work with us moving forward. And that's very earnestly difficult to work with.
Hold on. It's not rocket science.
No,
it's not. I mean, it's not at all rocket science, and it's overcomplicating it for a very, very simple issue. You got to bring in people the fans want.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And before anybody out there takes it and runs with it, we have not discussed budget for the next event yet. We haven't even looked at it because we don't even know where we're going to be. Because our main venue could still be under construction. We haven't been able to talk to them. Yeah. So everything is still in a very preliminary thing right now. We're hoping for May 1st and 2nd next year. That's our goal. But we don't know for sure. So we're it's kind of up in the air right now. We're getting some plans done. We're hoping to get things in place to incorporate as a nonprofit, which is going to open up a lot of stuff in terms of bursaries, in terms of sponsorships, in terms of a bunch of different things. And that's going to open up a lot of doors for us. Yep. And once that happens, then we can start looking at guests, then we can start looking at other things and benefits, et cetera, et cetera. But like to simplify everything very, very simply, the best way, instead of because what we do differently than what the big conventions do is that we don't throw out the wide net and we don't invite 50 guests in. And like maybe 10 guests will draw people that'll pay for the rest of the 50. That's because that's usually what happens. What we do is we listen to our fans. We see who they want to bring in, and we try to target the people. If we can't get that person, we try to get someone that's very, very close, or someone in that genre. And at least that way, they might find something else that they really like in that person, et cetera, et cetera. But we always try to make a great fan experience.
Yep.
Yeah, like hopefully you guys will end up going to the point where, you can get some of the really big names like William Shatner and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which honestly you probably could by talking to Vic, because
Have
Vic's good
Vic
friends
and
with
William
William now.
Shatner at the same time.
Yeah,
Have the battle of
talking
the
about
Kirks.
yeah, like maybe even William Shatner could reach out to Christopher Pine, for example, and have like a bit of a Star Trek panel with the three of them all talking about their experience of playing Kirk.
God, that blew the
At various iterations or something like that. I'm sure you'd have a ton of fans who'd come in, especially with Pine being very successful with Wonder Woman and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I get.
Anyway, guys, I got to get going.
Okay,
All right, well, thank you so much for hanging out, Blaze.
Blaze, thank you very
No
much.
problem,
welcome.
Blaze.
See you later, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think it's a great idea. Honestly, it's definitely something we're going to be looking into. I know that we're going to be looking into different programming track because we finally figured out how to do certain things this year with the internet. What we're planning on hopefully doing, and this is kind of a teaser for next year, for guests that don't have the time or can't make the trip or whatever else. We're going to be trying to have them satellite in so that they can hear and see and interact with the audience at the convention, and they'll be on screen so that people can see and hear and interact with them. So it'll be like a kind of like a one-on-one, like a nice little intimate type of stream that's only available at that convention for them. So
yeah,
that's,
like
that's one
obviously-
thing.
Yeah, like obviously set it up where like even have like maybe have like Vic or Nick or someone there, where we're all interacting or whatever. That'd be interesting. You'd probably have to do it through like StreamYard or Discord or something like that.
But plus,
Exactly.
plus on top, the way we look at it is we managed to get to, let's say, our virtual guest to connect with our physical guest. That basically brings a whole spirit of an actual panel together. And then after that, our imagination is our only real limitation moving forward.
Yeah. And if you guys can successfully pull it off, considering some of the other cons we're talking about doing virtual, you guys could pave the way and they could turn around and go, well, how did you do it? What did you learn from it?
Yeah.
And, use your experience to help the other cons, which might turn around and get them to help you guys. So, which would be a great big finger to Anime North.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Speaking of Anime North.
oh, what?
Speaking of Anime North. I did want to push the show topic for Saturday that we're coming up.
Oh, that's right.
Just briefly, because we're over 3 hours now, so I think we're gonna be wrapping up pretty shortly.
Oh, goodness
But,
gracious. I just slipped by so quickly. Good. Wow.
But coming up this weekend on Saturday for a regular show, so this is more of a special, just kind of a shooting the shit show. But on Saturday, we're going to be talking about Anime North. We're going to be talking because it was supposed to be this weekend.
Yep.
It was supposed to be this weekend.
Yep.
Right. So we're going to talk about Anime North. We're going to talk about a few of the things that they're doing. We might even have a guest on that was a staff member or volunteer or somebody at Anime North to talk about.
We'll have two if the one works out.
Two, yeah.
Yep. Oh,
And is next week's topic. Yes, Gippy. Gippy knows a little bit about Anime North.
oh, really? I did
Yeah,
not.
Gippy knows a little bit about it. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be a teaser. It's going to be a teaser.
We'll be,
Oh, stop with the spoilers already.
we have to wrap with that. Keep our
coming up on Saturday the 23rd. Obviously it's a bit different in Australia, but 5
It'll be the
p.m.
24th.
It'll be the 24th in Australia, but at 5 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Toronto time, we're going to be starting up, and that's going to be a stream that y'all don't want to miss because it's going to be a spill the tea kind of.
Well, it really depends on how drunk I am from my birthday now, ain't it?
There you go. Yes. So here's a funny story. So Girth's birthday is right around my birthday, so we're gonna be celebrating all together.
You lucky
Yep.
bastards. Mine isn't until July.
Yeah. So without dropping too much information about us, that'll get us, doxxed worse than anybody involved in the Vic Mignogna case right now.
Got Girth, will we be around Saturday, perhaps? Or because you're on the show, perhaps, and maybe the for about stuff.
Yeah, if I'm up, because one of the other guys, funnily enough, that I work with, my supervisor, is getting married on my birthday. He'll be away, so I'm taking his shift. So Yeah, let's just see how fun that's going to be. So I'll see if I'm up to it.
We'll definitely play it by ear then, at the very least of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you won't want to
But-
miss it coming up on the 23rd. We're gonna have that show. Anime North is the topic, so that's gonna be very, very fun. We're gonna have a couple of special guests on the show.
It will be
Okay.
an wonderful event.
Yeah, Cressy knows what I want Cressy to do for my birthday, so it's all
That's
good.
true.
And
That's true.
what would be this? Do I want to know? Do I,
Well, you'll
need-
find out. It'll be a surprise.
I like surprises. We'll roll with that.
That's if Cressy has the balls, or as Nick says, balls or nose balls ability to pull it off.
Ooh, I sense a challenge.
It's all right. I got the lady balls for it. Don't worry.
Cress-
Booster 114. Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. February 29th. That was a special day this
Oh.
year.
Hey, Siren. How are you, mate?
Siren Jag is here. Ta-da! Welcome. You're coming at the tail end of the stream.
Who-
You're coming at
who's,
the tail end. Siren Jag.
who's signed Jake? Do I know?
You met Siren Jag.
Is in the Discord channel, and he's also on Tug's channel, Nick's channel as
And he
mods.
also made the trek from the United States to Kitchener Comic Con.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
he did.
Is he in the chat or is he just in the waiting room?
He's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
In chat? Oh well, hello there. Thank you very much.
Hello there.
Hello there.
No, it's supposed to be hey there.
Oh, that's right.
Hey there.
Yeah. Or as Obi-Wan Kenobi says, hello there.
Hey there.
My goodness.
G'day, mate.
G'day, I. Welcome to the show and stuff. We're talking about
Welcome to the show and stuff, eh?
That's right, I.
On today's show, you'll see me wrestle a crocodile for shits and giggles. And then afterwards, I'll take you down the pub and I'll show you how to throw a prawn on the barbie.
And on top of that recipient known as Mr. Hop will gut it and basically douse it in butter and eat it in front of everybody, he will. Alligators hug that with the apex predator, if you know what I mean. Alright, what do you think?
Siren Jag, social distancing my butt in anticipation. Yes. Yeah. So spread the word. I don't know if you heard Siren Jag. We're gonna have a very special stream on this Saturday coming up. A regular stream on Saturday. It's gonna be all about Anime North. Because it was supposed to be this weekend.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be this weekend, so we're gonna talk about it.
Kitchener Comic Con, #1 comic book convention in Southern Ontario to the state.
That's like what, 4 months running now?
Yeah, pretty much for the 4-month king.
Shine up the belt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much shine up real nice.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess now's a good time. Like one last time, we're gonna shill this.
One more time.
One more time.
Hit it.
Okay. Boom! We got Canuckleheads official merchandise. Anybody out there that wants a piece of us?
Look at that.
Look at this beautiful thing here. You can get different color collars.
Very sexy. We
Really,
suggest
really cool.
red.
I like the red one.
Oh.
I like the red too. It's very sexy.
It's made of polyester. It is made in the United States. So if you live in the States, this will ship pretty damn quickly to you.
This is true.
It's pretty damn quick. It's funny that it's a Canadian show that's like
Shelling American company.
shilling an American company. But yeah. Full cover, front back, with a nice little logo on the front there. And we got ourselves a fleece blanket for sale with Canuckleheads
It will keep
logo
you-
on the bottom. It's going to keep you warm, definitely. We got stickers, so you can slap them everywhere, even over your wife's face.
Stickers.
Although I'd reserve it for your ex-wife, not your current wife.
That's right. Yeah, quite appreciate it. I mean, yes. And on top of that, I believe we have a
Wah, wah.
Patreon or something like that. How's
Yes, we do actually. Thank you for reminding me. We have a Patreon as well. For as little as $5 a month, that is going to get you to into our Discord. You can toss us $3 a month, which is the bare
know what?
minimum.
And the thing is that will help us get the KFC and the ramen
Exactly.
noodles that we need to exist on.
The absolute bare minimum is $3 a month to participate in the Patreon. $5 gets you into the Discord, which also gets you into the topics. So when we get bigger and stuff like that, you can suggest topics. You can pop on to different shows and things like that every so often. There are other tiers that guarantees you a permanent spot on the show as well. So be sure check that out. It's all the links are down there. You can check the links out below.
Yeah. And plus on top of it, we're always about giving, and if you basically punch into one of our patrons, we'll give you like a one-time happy thank you gift or something like that type of thing.
Well, we have plenty of thank you gifts that we're giving out with it. So
yeah, exactly. That's always pretty cool.
So toss a coin to your hoser.
That's right, eh?
Yeah.
Don't be stingy, hosers.
I would have gone toss a coin to your favorite knuckleheads. The best pair of knuckleheads since Beavis and Butthead.
There you go.
Tosses a coin.
I'm gonna like try to do up a graphic like that. That'd be funny as hell.
That would be.
It's like Beavis and Butthead, just like dressed up like what the fuck are they called? Why am I blanking this? The guys, like the guys from Strange Brew.
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Yeah, that's Bob and Doug McKenzie. There you go.
Free beer.
What is it? I am Cornholio. I need TV from my bunghole.
Give me TV from my bunghole. Oh, business. Oh, goodness gracious.
So
yeah.
Well, it's been a great stream. We hit about 3.5 hours. So I guess we can probably call it here.
Yeah, 3 hours. Holy.
Although, Cressy, there's one thing I want you to do.
Sure.
Rub Hop's nose in the fact that we grew your channel big time last night on Tug's
Oh my
stream.
God, that's so true. Yeah, so you broke my damn record. I was sitting at 69 subs, which is like nice. It's perfect. And then like I got up to 72, and then Tug Geltwalker here was messaging me on Discord before I went to bed and was like, "Hey, you need to get into Tug's channel. He's talking about this. He's talking about your interview." I'm like, "Okay." Go into his channel, and Geltwalker single-handedly got us up to, I think, like 107, 109.
That's absolutely fantastic of him.
Something like that. So
Crumbium's channels really build it up and stuff like that. That's why yours truly here at any form of positivity that possibly can.
Hey man, I was welcome to help Cressy. You guys have done a lot of hard work, and as I said, that Ron Toya interview really cemented a lot of it. Like, I wasn't aware that Cressy actually had a channel until I saw the video, and I'm like, watching it when Tug was shilling it, going over it and everything, and I'm like, all things considered, it was done extremely professional. Let's shill your channel, get it to grow. Yeah. Hopefully, eventually, you guys can get to the point where you're as big as like Clownfish TV and all that kind of stuff.
That would be a dream. That would be great.
Was a billion views for that, or likes, or viewers for that type of station? Like, my goodness gracious, they got like the YouTube 6.
Yeah, I think they're over 100,000 subs now. Like, well and truly over that now. So
that honestly takes a lot of fucking work. Holy crap, holas.
Well, like, honestly, like I really enjoy broadcasting. I really enjoy just like journalism. I love bringing like honesty and stuff to people. So
can we do something to Action Toy? Seriously, I'm gonna get him now again. Seriously, another one.
Queetha.
Oh yeah, hey, it's Mr. Pussyfart, Queetha here. How are you going?
Hey there.
Hey there. Yeah, another thing I want to say about Tug is that I'm really glad he's helping out Crumb here. And the thing is that this is very important for walking through all the different YouTube stuff, especially change the terms of service and the community guidelines are, if you know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's getting tougher because I've been on YouTube since 2007, and just to see the metamorphosis that's taking place in this particular platform is just absolutely astonishing. So it's always good when you got the community helping you out and stuff like that type of thing.
Well, I'm hoping that I can firm up a time tomorrow for the stream, because I was supposed to pop on to a stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to hear back on the time to confirm that, so we can sit down, do a breakdown of the toy interview, go over everything in some detail and everything like that. So
yeah, that's on Tug's channel, right?
Yeah. So I just I wanted to make sure I confirm it with him and get all those details down. So
you might
Yeah.
want to get in touch with Come Geek Some and maybe even SJ Samuel, or sorry, Dynamic Network, and see if they want to do a bit and help grow your channel while they go over all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know Come Geek Some said he is going to break the interview up to 3 or 4 stages. So why not at the end of it jump on with him and have a lot of fun.
Well, honestly, I'm open to anyone that wants to have me. I'm not at any means like going out and seeking to go on these channels. I'm not asking, I'm not begging people. I'm not trying to do this to gain clout or to get a big channel or anything. I just I did it because it was the right thing to do. I did it because I wanted to come out here and get a reasonable objective video and show, at least to Ron Toy, not to anybody else either, at least show to Ron Toy that maybe his viewpoint is wrong, and maybe he can accept that, maybe he can understand that.
And also it comes down to it. Remember, it's also really fun to do as well.
It's tons of fun. I love doing this. I love doing everything about this. So, doing the journalism, doing the interviews, all that stuff. I'll give a fair shake to literally anybody. I say this all the time. I can be critical of people, but at the end of the day, if you're out there and you want to be interviewed, you want to have a talk, or you want to talk about something, I'll give you a fair shake. I don't judge people, right? I don't. If we're opposed, if I hate you, I'll still give you a chance to talk, and I'll be fair to you, and I won't. I'll give you your 10 minutes or whatever it is.
And also,
only the right thing to do.
Also, between the two of us, let's not forsake this. Between the two of us, we have about 30 years of broadcast experience, both in both traditional and also new media. So if you don't like what's going on, that's it. But however, the thing is that we appreciate to anyone and have fun things, humanism towards things.
Yeah, so I mean, there's nobody that's too small out there, nobody too big, nobody too controversial. I'll talk to anybody. It's especially if I know the situation, not a problem. Because I funny story just to finish off the stream. When Nick had his 24-hour stream, and they were talking about trans stuff, and they were doing this and that and the other thing. I sent a super chat in to offer to talk about trans stuff on Nick's channel, and he didn't get to that super chat until a couple hours later because that was a crazy night. And he just so happened to read it when Doug Tenaple was on the stream with him, and Doug Tenaple made the offer to have me. He said that he'd be happy to talk to me about that stuff, and I reached out to him, and that's how I got connected with Doug Tenaple. And Doug Tenaple's fundamentalist Christian. We can't be further apart on the spectrum of religion, myself being pagan.
Yeah.
And he's opposed to gay marriage. I have my opinions about it. But I went on his stream. People were expecting blood sports, and
he treated you with complete and utter respect, like the same as you gave Ron Toye.
Absolutely.
It was great to see you pay that forward.
Absolutely. He treated me with respect. I treated him with respect. We had a great time, and we forged a good friendship out of that. And so I think that's the best way to approach it, especially if you're opposed on a bunch of different topics. You still have to be human about it. You still have to talk to them like they're people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Let's wrap that up. Bill there.
That's the closing bell. I think that's the closing.
No, the food truck just turned up and scared the living shit out of me.
I think it's the best way to finish this particular broadcast, especially the truck bell there.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys go and have a lovely night, and I'll catch you in a further stream down the track, y'all.
Have it. Thank you so much for hanging out.
It's wonderful having you on today. Thank you.
No problem. Nice to meet you, Hops.
Yep, nice to meet you as well. All right, let's wrap this SOB up. How do we do this?
Final thoughts, Mr. Hop.
Final thoughts from yours truly there, Crumb. I think today was an absolutely fantastic show. It was wonderful having people from our own backyard all the way down the wonderfulness known as Niagara Falls, skidding across the pond all the way to Australia. It's absolutely fantastic how the internet could bring us all together that much closer. And I thought this was an absolutely fantastic broadcast. And I truly like to thank you for hosting this particular show and all of the actual individual viewers who saw us throughout this not 1 hour but 3-hour broadcast, and I hope they get engaged with both our Patreon and the wonderful, fantastic t-shirt stuff we have to sell as well. And the thing is that, Crumb, like always, it's been an honor and a pleasure to broadcast with you. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Well, I want to thank everybody. Also, thank you, Ron, for being a great co-host. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. You guys have been absolutely amazing to hang out with. It was wonderful to talk to every one of you. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much for being engaged, and all the supporters out there and everybody out there that has been with us since even before I even decided to give my YouTube channel some attention. Literally, I've been streaming on Twitch for like 2.5 years. I'm happy with my stuff on Twitch, and that's my gaming area. This is my people area. This is where I come in and I do real talk and everything else like that. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for popping in, and don't worry, Gith, I got your back. Oh, Action Toys, you're gonna get it. But yeah, thank you guys so much. A big shout out to Tug. Check out, if you haven't checked out, his Littlest Umbrella Indiegogo project. It's
do that.
Really good stuff. Really good art. Support artists. Happy to support artists. If you haven't checked out Doug TenNaples' new work, I backed Bigfoot Bill too. Y'all should check that out because there's some great stuff in there too. I have the Earthworm Gym. Yeah, amazing. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, everybody out there, come geek some. Thank you so much for doing videos on the interview today. And thanks to Hero Hey for picking that up too. And you guys are all amazing. Love all of you. So I think I fit everybody in there that we need to. But thanks to everybody that we didn't thank as well. But we'll be back around. Final thing. Yep. Thanks to Suntory Whiskey, even though they didn't sponsor me,
or
they didn't sponsor me. Final thoughts on this whiskey. Honestly, if you like whiskey, this is a very, very good whiskey. No burn. There's no burn whatsoever. The aftertaste is a little bit heat, like it has a little bit of spice in the aftertaste. Very, very easy to drink. Yeah, a little bit dangerous. In that respect. Very good blended whiskey, though. Very, very pleased with it. I highly recommend it. If you're a whiskey drinker, if you really like whiskey, if you like smoky whiskey, it's not for you. There's not really much smoke. It's not very aged, but very, very good whiskey that's not super aged.
Yeah, no, for sure. Plus, on top of that, thing is that from this particular perspective, with Waterloo Brewery, again, fantastic beers. Highly recommend their Rattlers. Absolutely fantastic all around.
Yeah. So, thank you guys so much. We'll be back on Saturday. Don't miss it for the Anime North stream. Even though it's not going, we're going to talk about it. And as always, keep your stick on the ice. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye-bye.